This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It's just a couple minutes after 7 o'clock here in the Valley of the Sun. That'd be Phoenix, Arizona, which is where we are coming to you live, as we do every Tuesday night. It's Studio C. It's The Show. It's Q Talk America. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Marnie Ryer and Kat Carlson and Al Perkins. There's a bottle of Windex hidden somewhere in the room. We have coffee.
Put some Windex on it.
Just in case.
And I want to let you know, that Marnie, who is normally, if you're a regular viewer or listener to the show, she's usually a few minutes tardy, and she just learned that we have on hold music before the show because she was here oddly early today, so she got to hear the whole thing. This is how the show comes together.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah,
you do a smashing job.
I don't care how old the student is. It's always just miraculous to watch somebody learn something or discover something. That light in their eyes
got bright and
yeah.
big.
It is. Oh,
Yeah.
big eyes, big bright.
Eyes.
Yeah. It's like
Turn around, bright eyes.
It's like I don't like to rehearse any of this
Every
show.
now and again.
We don't like to rehearse the show because we want to be as surprised as everybody else.
I understand completely.
And it works.
And
week
it
after
worked.
week.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Week after week,
Well,
minute after
It was
minute.
good.
Oh my heavens! What are you drawing over there, Kat?
Well, I was writing myself a note. So
I do enjoy
I
her.
have a lovely, wonderful device, and I don't use it in any of its neat capacity most
Called
of
a
the
rabbit.
time.
Mine's called a brain. I don't use it in its full capacity either.
Right. No, I use my brain a fair amount, I feel like.
Show off.
I know.
Overachiever.
It comes
go.
up now and again.
All right, whatever.
But the Microsoft Surface that I carry has a lot of keyboard-free functionality that I don't ever use. And so I started using, because I always struggle for how to organize my 7 million jobs. Mm-hmm. Right? How do I keep notes from the Pride meeting separate from shit for the show, separate from the book fair crap, separate from, which is volunteer book fair crap, which is workbook, so much crap.
Wow.
So you don't
crap,
sit at a
crap.
book fair talking about a mechanophile who fucked his truck last week.
Wow.
Right.
I could see where
Right,
that
you could see how that could go wrong.
That'd be a great story.
But anyway, so I've been back and forth, and I used to keep links on Pinterest, and I know a couple listeners followed me over on Pinterest, and then I stopped using it altogether. Sorry about your luck. And then
And then they just stopped making
Right.
things. They were like,
Yeah.
and then kind of built into the functionality of the Surface is Microsoft OneNote, which is a note-keeping, organizing, like kind of a binder in a digital way.
So now, do you write on the screen and it turns it into typed legible
I can
stuff
do that.
later?
I absolutely can do that.
That's
I
my
can,
dream.
It's super fun. I can actually do that. Or in Google Keep, I just pulled up like a sticky note to write on the screen as though it were a pen and paper.
Oh.
Because I was thinking to myself, well, crap, Clayton McKee's going to ask me what I've been up to. What the fuck have I been up to?
Let's make a
It's
list.
not a surprise question. I mean, these things are
I know,
coming.
but sometimes I wonder, like, how long has it been?
Right. Did that happen this
This
week?
week?
That happened yesterday? Did that happen in 1974? Like, I don't know.
right.
I think that's completely plausible. Could have happened in '74 to one of us,
Right.
not to you.
Couldn't have happened to me.
No, it's a true story, though, because I do go back.
Could even happen in '84 to you.
Could have happened in 84.
My time frames get so
Right.
strange of, like, sometime in the 90s? I don't know. I kind of have
Yeah.
an idea of...
Well, and then sometimes I have really like strangely realistic dreams, and so then I'm left in this thing of, wait, was that in the other night when I was just dreaming about work, or because that's happened 3 times this week. I'm really excited about.
Yeah, Saturday night at work was one of those ones that you want to like wake up and be like, oh, it was just a stress nightmare. All of that didn't happen in the course of one evening.
Ugh.
But no, it did.
Yeah, that happens.
I checked on Facebook and everyone was thanking each other for helping them through like what was a gruesome evening of work and I said to somebody, I'm like, this is one of those things where it would take like a 5-week mini series to capture all these stories to make it believable. But the fact that it happened in 5 hours just seems like, all right, it's too much. Like it's too much.
I feel like you should write the miniseries.
Yeah.
I've got a nice new application that can help you organize your notes.
Yeah, until you've heard someone say, I can't tell one
Do
more
tell.
person. Yeah, I can't tell one more person tonight that their family member's dead. Until you've heard that come out of someone's mouth, that's
Yeah.
like eating their feelings.
Right.
Like, okay.
All right.
I'll
honey.
take this one.
We'll do it. We'll help you. Whatever you need.
Hi, Aaron, Brandon, John Jay. Sorry, just
Very good. Oh, John Jay's in the old
Yeah.
chat room tonight. Hi there, John. I saw you on the Facebooks earlier. Now, before we get into what everybody's been doing this week, even though
Yes.
you've touched briefly, I want I'm proud of all of us. I'm proud of what we do. A lot of us are movers and shakers in our own right. We get out there, we do things. Some are unsung heroes. Sometimes we toot our own horn.
Some
and I know
sung,
that
some
Kat.
didn't.
I know that
We
Kat
sung
is.
ourselves most of the time.
Kat is not a person who toots her own horn a lot.
Never.
She gets accolades here and there, but I few people know.
I feel like I'm getting an Academy
I know.
Award.
Few people know. She made national headlines
That's
this week.
exactly
Oh, good
right.
God.
She did.
She made national headlines. If you don't know about this, if you don't follow or stalk any of us on Facebook, you might not know about this. But Kat Carlson was actually shown today by the POTUS there, showing about what he does on those binders. Look at that.
In my favorite first grade pun regarding my name. Thank God.
I just think that's fantastic. I mean,
No, it truly is.
That
I
was
think
one
it's
of my favorite
fantastic the
things.
number of times I've been tagged in that particular image today.
well, yeah. I know I did it, but
Yeah, you.
I just was proud
I'm
of
pretty
it.
sure we're at 11.
God, it's
Yeah.
hysterical.
Now, what I also know is that if you do something wrong, it'll immediately be followed up with this one, where you just you're in trouble.
Good times.
Oh, horse shit. Anywho, so what you been doing aside from making new apps on your Surface?
Well,
Which is not a metaphor. That sounds like a metaphor.
it sure does. You busted me, and here's what I wrote down. I wrote down Domestic Sunday because that may be the most interesting thing that I've done all week.
Okay.
It was, and it's really just not even all that interesting. But in an effort to make the rest of my,
Wow.
Well, way to kill the interest.
Marnie, what have you been doing?
I shut down completely.
that's fair. Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day.
God, that's been a long 3 hours.
Isn't that
yeah.
terrible?
That's what listeners say.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, so that was my week. Barn, what have you been up to?
Yeah, nothing.
Oh,
Really.
good.
I don't know.
Now, what'd you really do?
Al killing people?
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Not on purpose. I mean, he walked
That's
into my
legit.
knife 10 times.
Right. He had
had
it
it
coming. Oh, do we get copyright infringed for just referencing Broadway songs?
No, I think we can sing them all day long.
But we just can't play right.
Yeah, we just can't play the
Hi,
original
Mom.
music.
Well,
I'm pretty sure we
with
can
Happy
sing
Birthday,
them all
you
day
couldn't
long.
sing.
Right.
Happy
No,
Birthday
we have
was
free.
singing.
We have free reign on that one now. We got
Thank
that
goodness.
But somebody said Happy Birthday is free now. I don't
one. It
know if
is.
that's true.
Actually, it was in the national news. It came out. I'll look that up while you're talking.
do
Like
that.
a year or so ago, they actually did a news story on the fact that it was all copyrights on it had expired and it was public domain.
All right. Well, the story I was going to tell you, y'all can just check right on out because I'm just going to tell it anyway.
I'm listening.
No, absolutely.
In connection with trying to keep up with the bazillion things that I think that I can do simultaneously, I, search around for apps to keep information organized. And I also struggle just to keep myself fed in a weird way. I end up on a lot of like Filibertos at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is good for you if you want to live till 100. It's a good
sure, of
plan.
course.
Good plan.
Delicious.
So I really like the highlight of my week is I got up on Sunday morning and I opened the paper and the youngest was very excited about the ads. So we went through the ads and cut the coupons. Then we made the grocery list and then we came home and we did meal prep for the week. So we put together everything so that it was just dump in a pot and cook, easy to go for the rest of the week.
You're so organized.
Well, good Lord, you have to be sometimes. Because otherwise, then the whole family does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She has more people in the house.
Yeah.
Right. Then it's not always just me. Because if it was just me, I'd probably end up with some chicken and broccoli every day in little containers like you see your gym buddies doing. You know them on Instagram when they're all like food prep and it's all just a chicken breast, a sad chicken breast and some broccoli in a what do they call those Ziploc?
And that's when I want to like just put the pillow over their head and tell them,
Yeah.
this is kinder.
Right.
If chicken and broccoli is what you're living for.
If that's all you got going for you, honey.
I'm not going to say
Please
it's not
tell me there's a-
delicious, but
and you
no,
felt free to
it's
take a picture of it. That's where the
Please
bar
tell me
was
there's
lowered.
a cheat
By
day
all
in there somewhere.
means, take another picture of your meal. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
There's,
post
there's a
cat
reason the
videos.
term is fat and happy.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
I'm waiting for the latter.
But anyway, so we put together like very delicious things. We've got tremendous things, great
Huge
and delicious things.
All the best people.
The most delicious things. No, and easy stuff to do. So we'll have chili this week, and we'll have chicken soup. Well, I made chicken soup today, which took no kind of time, and all kinds
My
of
mom
stuff.
made chicken soup. I talked to her the other day, and she was making chicken. Mom, by the way, do you have any left? Because if not, I missed that entire batch of chicken noodle soup that she had made.
I'm sure she'd need a whole batch of chicken soup.
Usually what happens is because mom cooks for an army because she doesn't know how to cook for smaller portions, which is fine because when I go visit, she ships stuff home with me.
Right.
Sure.
But usually what happens is she gets a craving for something, and so she'll have it for like 1, 2, maybe 3 days, and then she freezes it because she's tired of it.
Yeah.
So then she makes something else. So she's probably still got a pot of chicken soup up there, I would imagine.
I found
Smart.
a simple and easy thing to make this week.
What you got?
You
Reservations?
Yes. Yes. Phone calls. Just
I like
trying
that
to
we're a cooking show today.
No, spinach artichoke dip. It's a little much on its own.
Yeah.
Oh,
But if you
yum.
get chicken, I mean the stuff from the, you know what I mean? It's good. But after like your third cracker, you're like, okay.
Oh, you mean
There we
the
go.
store-bought kind of
Yeah.
whatever,
Okay.
right?
You feel the heart attack coming on, and you go, well,
Right.
So
maybe
I got
need to back
Smell
it up.
toast?
rest
You smell
and
toast?
chopped it up, like shredded
Yeah.
it,
Uh-huh.
and then just whipped it into just used a little bit of that dip to like mix it up and make a chicken salad
chicken
out
salad.
of
Oh,
out of
delightful.
spinach and artichoke. It was delicious.
look
like
at
it.
you.
And that way you
Cooking
add
tips.
some protein to all that fucking mayonnaise.
There's
So
that.
I do
that
not
heart
want to
attack.
complain about mayonnaise.
Oh, God,
I
no.
like it.
Miracle Whip or mayonnaise. I won't complain about either one.
No,
I enjoy them.
Call it a cuppa.
Yeah.
Or a
I had
grab
a scoop of ice cream just to cut the sweetness.
I put sugar on it to calm it down.
Just to chill it out.
But that's literally, I think, the most interesting thing I could come up with for the whole week. I've been immersed in, social media news.
When was your last meeting with the Pride people? Because I had a conversation with Justin Owen yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
He's so lovely. I like to see him.
I do enjoy
I'm
him.
excited that I'm on the meeting schedule.
He's
now.
thrilled. He's thrilled as hell that you're there.
That's so nice.
He's very thrilled that you're
Just
there.
very
as
nice.
pleased as
Yeah.
pie.
Very,
Because
very kind.
one of the topics yesterday, and this is will mean nothing to anybody else outside of this room, but at our Pride,
like the rest of the show.
mostly right. At our Pride, there is there's the entire Pride, and they have all the beer tents and drink things and all this bullshit. Well, a few years ago, they came up with an idea to do a VIP tent that you pay an extra ticket price for, and blah blah blah. But there's a special private bar. Now, my company that I work with, we provide the point of sale, and the company that Kat works with is Bartenders of America.
Cat Carlson
Yeah.
Enterprises. Right.
Kat Carlson was a bartender the past 2-3 years. There?
You know what? I've been there since they started bringing in bartenders. Apparently, there
Okay.
was a VIP area prior to the bar that we know it of now, but I didn't know of it. I didn't know anything about
No,
it
yeah,
then.
I was there.
But I've been there since the first year that Sway Events and our friend Gary Guerin
Got it.
said, "Hey, why don't we bring in celebrity bartenders?"
So the part of the conversation I had with Justin Owen yesterday, we were talking about that and whether or not it was going to be able to be inside. He said no about the bar that's coming.
The new
which
exciting.
it kind of sounds cool what
It
he
does sound really
described.
cool. I'm excited.
But my favorite part of this whole thing is when we were discussing the whole thing with getting organized and yada yada yada, and he goes, "Well, she's going to run it like it should be run." A fucking bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, duh, that's exactly right. It's what we've talked about. But the
Yeah.
fact that nobody else seemed to understand that, the beverage people never seem to get that.
Yeah.
I love that's being done. And I'm so excited to see how this is all going to come together this
It's
year.
an actual bar. Why don't we run the whole thing like a bar?
Yeah. Staff it that way. Have your backup bottles of booze and beer and all that shit.
Right. By
I just-
definition, you're serving liquor to the community. You are a bar.
yeah.
Right, right.
I just think that's brilliant. So he was
I'm
excited.
not going to argue
Oh,
with
that's
it.
very
It
exciting.
seems like a sound argument on all sides.
Yeah, he's excited.
Looks like a bar, smells like a bar.
Anywho, well, anyway, but yeah, he's very happy that you're on board with it. How's
that's
our
exciting.
friend Kyle Ward faring so far in the battle of, because now he's beverage coordinator for the whole thing.
For the whole thing. You know what? I think he's going to be really great. Kyle Ward is probably one of the top 3 people in Phoenix that I would love to work with all the time.
I
every
enjoy
day.
him so much. He's a good time.
Yeah, so he's gonna be really great about it. It's like it's his first year and it's the big project, it's the big show, so he's
Cool.
understandably nervous, and
Now-
I would be too.
Now I do assume he has to have a staff under him of volunteers who are backing him up. I don't know how it's being set up.
Yeah, we're scouring the community as we speak.
Scouring.
yeah.
Wow.
Looking for bartenders.
Okay.
and other volunteers to help us out. So we've got
Oh, I know him.
we'll get it done.
Gotcha.
We love
Kyle
you
Ward,
too,
yeah, you know
Joey.
Kyle Ward.
Who's there? Joey from Trudeau Land.
Sounds like it's
Oh,
a good
hi,
land.
Joey.
Love you too.
Interject this
Land.
little thing right now. I didn't realize this. The birthday song
Yeah.
is also the good morning song. A different good morning song. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, dear teacher. Good morning to you. Never knew that. And then it turns around. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, dear children. And then it also subs in for happy birthday. It is a.
I have never heard.
No, I'm looking at it
If I
right
had
here.
if I had a teacher that optimistic in the morning,
Right, well,
there would have
sure.
been
I'd have
gunplay.
stabbed her in the face.
Well,
right?
the 1800s.
Have you ever tried paste?
The 1800s.
Listen, sister.
The 1800s were a happier time, apparently. Anyway, the interesting thing, the scan of the sheet music they show here says used special permission through courtesy of the Clayton F. Summy Company.
that your cousin?
It is now no. It has now public domain, and the former owner of the copyright on it has to pay $14 million in I'm gonna say unlawful. I guess it would be unlawful. Collections of copyright on the song that they have to pay back.
Wow, it was like the granddaughters of whoever wrote it or something.
Yeah,
Granddaughters or great granddaughters.
this was filed in February of last year, just about a year ago. That this lawsuit was originally filed in 2013 by filmmaker Jennifer Nelson, who challenged the Happy Birthday copyright. But then they went through all of this other hullabaloo, and apparently they lost the court battle. And I guess it was copyrighted in 1935. But anyway, well, I didn't realize it. So yeah, anyway, I knew it was public domain, but so we're good. So we can sing the shit or play the shit out of that one. We just can't play the Adobe
Put it on-
commercial
I'm gonna
from
make
SNL.
it
And I absolutely
Good
love it. The
morning
fact that
to you.
no,
Good
don't.
morning to you. No?
No, that's not.
I do.
I thought that was what
Let's
you
sing
wanted
the
us
other.
to
If we're gonna sing a song, let's sing the other Good Morning song.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
It's great.
Good
Sing out loud.
Good morning. Good morning
To you.
And you.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
not the
you
Jews.
need to-
We
I
gotta
need
start
to be
talking about them
careful these
already.
days.
Yeah, we'll get
I
there.
mixed in a little Sound of Music.
Ms. Ryer,
What was the question?
same question, different
Oh.
person. What's
Oh.
up? Anything new? Anything exciting?
You always put me on the spot.
It's not a surprise. I'm sorry. It's not like SEAL Team 6 comes in here and asks you questions.
Shit.
That
Let me think. We celebrated Brenda's birthday last week.
Happy
Brendan Robin.
birthday,
Batman
and
Robin.
Robin. Now, are their birthdays on the same day or they just have the same account?
Same account.
Okay.
Yep, same account.
Huh?
It's Brenda and Robin.
Facebook?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that
Right.
would drive me insane.
I know. But
couldn't
Bre-
handle
well,
I know,
'cause Brenda
there's-
doesn't necessarily want one. Robin is the one who's always on there.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
And there's quite a few couples that I know that go as
She's on it by proxy.
that
Right,
go
right,
as
right.
one, right? Because one of them's active, but the other one wants to see pictures.
Right, exactly. And recipe things
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
things that people put up. So
Gotcha.
anyway, we went for dinner and then we went to we went for karaoke to the old brass rail.
Oh.
Just can't go
Oh
wrong.
my
with the
God.
old brass
On
rail.
Thomas?
Sweet
Oh my
Jesus.
God!
Holy cow.
And
Haven't you gone there of a morning with the
Fantastic.
crew
Yeah.
from the
Sure.
from the
Oh,
restaurant?
they
Yeah.
have good breakfast. And they have
Oh, they do?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
They
had
have
no
good
idea they had
breakfast.
food.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
yeah.
it's not. It's
no,
like
it's like
it's
bar
bar
food,
food.
but it's like that greasy kind of
bacon,
like, yeah.
eggs, toast,
Oh.
Yeah.
hash
Delicious.
browns.
Oh,
$6.
my God.
like
Shut
Missouri,
up.
like Missouri. Yeah,
We're gonna have to go.
Yeah.
I'll have to go someday.
yeah.
I'll dress down.
8
Please do.
a.m.
Actually, I probably wear
Please
this.
do. Yeah, yeah.
I was just gonna say,
So you'd be
8
dressing
a.m.
up.
I'll meet
Yeah.
you.
Oh,
It really, it's so good and just an eclectic crowd. And so Aaron put in songs for me and for her, obviously, and Jason was with us. And I got up there and I'm like, been looking at the crowd. I'm like, I need to change this up a little bit. So of course I put in John Denver, Thank God I'm a Country Boy,
Yeah.
because that spoke to the crowd. I'm not fucking around
They
here.
were Rocky
That
Mountain,
spoke
not
to
quite
the
high
crowd.
is this a
enough.
crowd that you could have
Exactly.
thrown a banjo up and anybody that caught it could play it?
They could have caught it without their teeth. Like they're like there were teeth missed. There was a
Wow.
lot happening. But God
Very
bless 'em.
exciting.
No,
place.
but it's
Rocky
it's
Mountain
fun because
High.
like nobody is judgy. Nobody is
No,
you know,
Nobody's
It's in
judgy.
that same
except
realm
us.
as
I mean,
yeah.
we were in the back corner, but I'm saying
same realm as the old hidden house and the Swizzle
Sure.
Inn and
you just
all
go,
those
you
those
enjoy.
classics. Yeah.
Right. And
Two Sky Rocks and a hearty man breakfast
We had
was like $15.
Right. I mean, we had 6 of us there, and I mean, Mom and Robin weren't drinking, but still, it was only $30,
Yeah.
and we were there for like 3 hours. Fantastic, just delightful. So did a little.
Delightful.
I got out there and I was supposed to. I don't know. Aaron put something else in, and I looked down. I'm like, I'm gonna need to change this, please. And the guy who does runs the karaoke.
Well, I wouldn't trade my life for diamonds or jewels. I never was one of them money-hungry fools.
Okay, that's about enough. Well, I don't want to deal with copyrights this fucking week.
Not with him.
No, I mean, he'd
Not
fight
for
with
that.
you. Yeah, he'd fight with you. But it was very funny
He's just
because I
one
thought,
experimental airplane away
he
from being
really
alive.
is. He really is. It was fantastic though, because like everybody had done, everyone had done a great job, and you really don't want to follow Erin if it's karaoke. 'Cause she has a really great voice. But I was following her, and that's why I changed it up, because you got to get the crowd in, lure them, you know. And the guy
And
who runs karaoke,
nothing says lure him in like thank God I'm a country boy.
And the gentleman who was running it, pretty much thinks that he's Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, really?
And it really, after, I don't know, maybe about 5-10 minutes, grating on you. You know, like, well, I don't know.
And then there's some cakes on the griddle.
Yeah. Yep. And so I thought, well, I have to do this. And sure shit I did. And everybody went
Shit, I did.
just a little nuts about it.
Hog wild.
Hog wild, as it were. Yeah, I'm a country boy. It was fantastic.
Wow.
It was fantastic. So,
I have
it was
to
fun.
say-
It was just fun.
I have no words.
After being at the John Denver Museum and Art Studio, I don't know what the hell it was. But I
Top
was,
of a mountain? No?
Yeah, it really was.
Oh, good.
So in Colorado.
Yeah.
So was looking through, and so I downloaded a bunch of songs. Felt free to skip that one.
How come? That's why, and, honest to God, one of my favorites. Just one of my favorites all time. Because it's just awful and fun.
Yeah.
And, you
Which one was awful?
the Thank
Country
God
Boy?
I'm a Country Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are there's several other ones that
Oh
are
no,
nice.
he's got lovely.
He has great
lovely,
songs.
lovely
Annie's-
music.
That one,
Annie's
and it
song
reminds me
I'm
of
sorry for the way things are in China. Always remains a classic.
it was
How about I
in-
just start apologizing for shit till you're happy? I feel like that was the motivation for that song. He and his wife were just in just
bad
a
place.
pissing contest.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you going to tell me what's wrong? Nope. Guess. And
Yeah,
she just
exactly.
starts out.
I'm sorry about the way things are in China. Let's start there and narrow the field.
Eventually, I'll hit on something you're going to agree
funny.
to.
That's good.
Something's gonna move you.
Something. God.
Something.
Something in the way you
Something
move.
in the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Good for you.
Yeah, done.
Good.
that
Good
was
for
fun.
you.
Yeah. Well done.
I don't know. So I like rendering fucking time restraint. I just was like, let's move on.
Yeah.
Well, I watched
done.
the very political, very political, very pointed SAG Awards the other night, but luckily Trump is so busy taking shit from so many people that he didn't even notice this
He didn't
time when
even have
all
time.
of Hollywood stood up and told him to fuck off. En masse, as they say in France.
Oh.
And so that was fun. Doug came over. We drank some wine, had some comida de China, and
How's that?
Chinese food.
Oh.
I like to get fancy every once in a while. And then I've just been working on my my birthday trip and kind of put the last pieces of the puzzle together for
Very exciting.
what gonna happen. I'm very excited.
Do you want to give us any hints?
I am doing a day by myself in Barcelona.
Okay.
And then I meet up with my friend Shane, and we're gonna do something in Barcelona, and then organize tours
Two things.
of.
That's two things in Barcelona.
Two things in Barcelona. One by myself, one with someone else. Then I'm doing Florence and going to see the Duomo from Silence of the Lambs. I know it's
Okay.
not really what it's from, but
Okay.
it's what he drew from memory.
It's okay.
So I wanted the Duomo to be part of it, and going to the Leaning Tower of Pisa,
Okay.
where we get to climb to the top.
Oh.
Going to Rome to the Vatican.
I did
and to
not
the
know that you
Sistine
could do
Chapel.
that. I don't mean to.
I don't
No,
think I
they
knew that
just
either,
opened it
yeah.
up. It had been closed
Oh,
for a
okay.
while, and now it's
Okay.
open again. So we're doing the Vatican, the Sistine Chapel. We're doing something in Naples. I can't remember
Okay.
what it was.
Yep.
Something exciting. We're gonna do a day in Mallorca by ourselves, and then we get back to Barcelona, and I come home.
I don't think I've ever heard of Mallorca.
Majorca is an island off. It's like I think Corsica is what you might have heard
Okay,
of.
I've heard of that.
I've heard that.
But Majorca is a little island off the coast of Spain. Very
Sounds
beautiful.
beautiful.
And you it's
Just
it's,
as an island,
It's
it
spelled
just
with
sounds
2
good.
L's, so you may not have ever known that you pronounced it Majorca.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of people that
The
say
L
it,
is silent, apparently.
that say it wrong.
Both of them.
Well, 2 L's become a Y. So
Yep. In
think I
Spanish,
would've
I
known
knew
that.
that.
I think
I
I
knew
would have
that.
known that,
like
but I
como
don't.
se llama? How do you say
Arroyo.
your name? You spell como se llama with 2 L's because 2 L's make a Y.
And pollo.
In pollo.
Arroyo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Arroyo.
That's really a Y.
Yeah, I know.
It means creek.
I know. I'm.
It means creek.
Jesus. I can't see.
So,
We're a cooking show. We're a language class.
I know we are. So it was
All
very
the
exciting to put that
things.
together, and and that was about it. Like the one day that I was off, and I really thought I was gonna do something. There was a death that just that left me chained to YouTube for 12 hours, and I honestly never left the computer. And I was like, it's 10 o'clock at night.
That happens.
Haven't bathed. Second cup of coffee sitting here with me. So, but I mean, it was a good week. It was fun.
Good.
You know, got to
It sounds
you
like
get
planning
over
that
what
trip
happens
would
and
be
you move the
very
fuck
fun.
on.
Nope. Sounds
That
like planning
is
that trip
advice
would
for
be a
life,
lot of
my
fun.
friend.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's fun to plan with something. Usually I just pick whatever I want to, but this one was like, everybody pick your top 2 and we'll look
Good.
at it. And the one was like buses along windy cliffs, and the other one was like all on the water. I'm like, we're going to take the water for 500, Bob? Because I am not doing...
Yeah.
So I just watched the video, and I'm like, I'm not doing 3 hours on a bus on winding
That
cliffs to
doesn't
see
sound
some
like fun.
fucking coast. Yeah.
Oh.
Because what if you're on the wrong side of the bus? Then what are you looking
Yeah,
at? The cliff
there's
wall?
that,
Fuck
right.
you.
And you don't
So-
know. Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not my first time at a rodeo.
No, I'm sure it's not.
Oh, the other place is Cannes. We're going to
Okay.
Cannes, and we're going to Monte Carlo. So I'm going to see
Oh, I
where
love
Grace
it.
Kelly died.
Okay.
It's not in a book, but I'm going to pretend it is.
Fantastic.
Because if it can't be something from
fair.
a book, then it's got to be celebrity driven. So
Okay.
I get to see the road that Grace Kelly kind of off of.
Wow.
Is that on the bus?
Wait, so there are actual rules to this trip?
Well, there is anytime I travel. It's always something.
I love
You
it.
know what I mean? Like I did the Da Vinci Code when I was in Paris last, and
Oh,
you
that's
know what I
I
mean.
didn't know
did,
that.
Did the whole tour and
I
audio.
should listen to this show. You
Yeah.
learn things about people.
Put your
I
right to
always try
sleep.
especially if I travel by myself, I always try to tie it into something I've seen, so
Something
I have like
iconic,
some
sure.
point of reference of what we're all looking at. 'Cause otherwise, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this
The
place is.
flip this is. The fuck.
This is beautiful.
That's
I
like-
don't know
that's
where I
like-
am, but
Oh, that's why there's that one country that I won't say out loud that I won't go to because their movies don't make it look nice.
all right.
Oh, we can say Ireland. We'll pick Ireland because almost every movie about Ireland is just potatoes
Looks
and
kind of
depression.
miserable, sure, and cold.
Yeah.
And,
No re-
and
Makes,
green.
makes me cold.
And I feel like they don't make French fries like we do, so why would you go? It's the only good thing to do with a potato.
No,
Like
they don't
Keith.
make. They don't make the. I'm sure they don't make the same thing.
How do you fuck up a French fry? Oh,
I feel like they just don't make French fries. I feel like they're proud of just doing a potato in like its natural state, which no one wants to see that.
Well, and in Italy,
know
you're
what?
not going to get Italian food like.
bring back
Yeah, I mean,
discrimination
it's-
against the
it's
mix.
the
That's
real
my
stuff.
those dirty
Steve,
mix.
and if you watch that show, if you watch the Mick
no.
on, I think it's on Fox.
Okay.
It might be on Tuesday nights. It's the girl. It is on Fox because she's also on. It's the girl from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Now she has a show where she's the horrible sister who's on the run from tax evasion, so she's raising her 2 brat rich nieces and nephews. It's kind of like politically incorrect and kind of funny. She's
I'm
a
into it.
funny actress. I can't think of her name, but I just happened to catch a couple episodes of the show.
And went for it.
Yeah, and I was
like
like,
it.
I'm amused.
Glad you were amused. For me,
Clayton McKee.
Yeah.
not terrible. What are you eating now? What is that?
Butternut squash soup.
Okay.
Would anybody
Well,
like
no, I'm good.
I'm actually really excited somebody brought back the Katie June dinner hour.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just,
right.
yeah.
not
know.
but this one's not sponsored by AJ's. 'cause
Yeah,
that,
exactly,
That
right?
girl showed up and spent $80 on every meal she ever had.
She really did.
Actually, if you do that dinner thing that she did, it's only like $7 to $12.
Oh,
it's
that's
a
not
very
bad.
reasonable
That's
meal.
cheaper than what I order at McDonald's.
And not only is it reasonable, it's
And
fucking
healthier.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Probably healthier than the McDonald's thing.
Probably.
Just, these are guesses.
The double quarter pounder
These
and
are
the
good.
chocolate
No,
shake is
'cause
not.
these people are not
the
afraid of
health
a
food.
butter sauce. So it's not that much
It's like
healthier.
Durant's.
Yeah.
That's fair. But you feel better about
It's
it.
fancier, but there's still butter and mayonnaise. Don't you worry.
Well, not a lot of terribly exciting things other than the fact that it's been beautiful weather. The house has been open all week. I mean, earlier in the week it was over the weekend we had a cold day, but it's just been beautiful weather in Phoenix, so that's been enjoyable.
And it makes you feel like you're outside.
Oh, it does. It's
Because the
lovely.
windows are all open, and I saw sun the other day, and I'm like, well, there it is.
There, it's right there. It's still coming around. Every
Still
24 hours
Yeah.
she cycles around here.
Oh boy.
It's a rarity that I do, but I happen to catch on, I believe it's Turner Classic Movies. That's the channel that plays movies without commercial interruption, correct?
Sometimes.
Well,
They go back
okay.
and forth.
Well, last night as I was getting, and I was tired and I was done, but I'm like, okay, I'm just going to surf channels for a minute. And I caught the very beginning of, and I'd never seen it, I know it's shocking, of the original 1960 Ocean's 11.
Oh, that's exciting.
And I
haven't
watched
seen
it
that.
primarily because I wanted to see how Vegas looked in the 60s in their portrayal. And it was very interesting because obviously if you have no idea what original Vegas looked like, it was very sparse. Like it was a just desert and like 5 casinos, and that was about all there was
That's
to
all you get.
Vegas.
And lots of holes dug in between all of the casinos.
Yeah.
For
Oh,
bodies.
bodies.
Yeah, okay, right.
Oh, the good old
So,
days.
no, it was
You
just-
just
it
go
was-
bury somebody in the
It was an
desert.
interesting movie to watch, and again, based on if you were watching it in the 60s, you had no idea how technology worked, obviously. So what they were doing, and you're watching it now, what, 57 years later?
It's a long time.
So you're watching, you're like, okay, that's how they're gonna attack this. That's how they're gonna do this. It just kind of was interesting. Everybody, of course, is smoking like a house of fire everywhere. The little lounge acts were kind of funny to watch. As there's the circle bar. You've got just the little bar, which I realize there's still bar acts that do that. But it was just very interesting to watch it. So I watched the whole damn thing, and I'm laying there and I'm like, who is this guy? The guy who plays Duke Santos. And I was like, I'll be damned. I had to look at Cesar Romero.
Oh, yeah.
Cesar Romero, Norman Fell, I didn't realize was part of that
Norman
group.
Fell, yeah. I think he's in Mad World too, from that same era. Like, they all
Could
make
be.
their way through like those.
But I did not realize he was actually part of that group. Apparently, according to what I heard, he had run around with that group too for a while.
yeah, because
but-
they were Vegas performers. They did the nightclub circuit, and then they ended up in Vegas with their own.
So it was just very interesting to watch the movie. Again, the fashions, how
He was
things
the
were.
lower rent casinos.
Right. But I did think it was interesting, and it speaks a lot about even the time. I didn't understand how Sammy Davis was part of this, but he's the trash truck driver in that whole movie. Like that was his whole deal.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, he's not permitted to be in the show anywhere. But yet he sang 1 or 2 songs in the movie.
Oh no, and Vegas never had like a black or white. They never segregated like that.
Okay.
They never did that.
But I thought it was interesting. So anyway, I watched another movie. So mark that down somewhere that Clayton actually watched a fucking movie. So you're good.
And it's fun to see because
I'm gonna
there
make
was-
a note
there
and
was
then
all
set a
the-
reminder.
The old strip has been around for a long time, where Union Plaza was the crown jewel, and like every 10 years or so, they update the Union Plaza and try to bring it back. And the last time I was there, it's time to. We were at 9 years
We're
and
done.
360 days. Like someone's got to do this. And the Golden Nugget and all those and
Right.
the Horseshoe, but the part of that was kind of a promotion for the new strip. That hadn't been there that long, so they
Oh.
were at like the Sands,
The Sahara, the Riv,
They're
the
on the
Sa-
news strip,
Okay.
and only in that little section. So, I didn't get there till '86 was the first time I was in Vegas.
94, 93 for me.
But like
about
I was there
right.
before Mirage.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like there was the Tropicana was the jewel of the strip at the time, and they hadn't put up the new towers for
the-
Caesars yet. Like
Yeah.
nothing had expanded into like outside grounds.
Yeah.
And it was just weird to see like all that empty space in between. So if you had to go from Tropicana to like say Caesars seemed like miles
Right.
and miles and miles.
Forever,
and
Right.
yeah.
You should,
It was just desert.
because there was nothing in
Right.
between.
Let
Let me
Now
tell you,
go
if
there,
you're
there's
maybe
not
a
an
little
inch.
too publicly intoxicated and you're walking that bit, it's still miles
it's-
and miles and
No,
miles.
it is because you got to go up and over, and they
But
route
there's
you
a lot
around
of distractions
shops.
now. You can
Yeah.
it does make the time go a little faster. But it was interesting when they were showing shots of the strip, and because every time they go to a new location that shows the trash truck drive-in and all the setting up each scene. But it was interesting to see all the old signs and how it was, because obviously they were really doing outside shots of some of these places. So that was kind of cool. And then am I wrong? Shirley MacLaine's in that movie?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I thought that's who I recognized her. Cesar Romero.
And again, she's another one from that Vegas performance. It was everybody that was on that circuit.
okay.
Because Shirley MacLaine performed She always had a nightclub act.
And I didn't realize
And
that.
that's where she would.
And I
go
only
hide.
saw her in the one scene where she gets out of the car and she's wasted, and Dean Martin comes out and kisses her to distract her from the other guy going in the electrical room. You know, as part of the plot of the movie. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. Now, the other thing is, again, we're all news people, so we're always constantly watching and interacting with the news. Well, we follow, like I do, I follow a lot of different people on the Twitter, right? So
I do, and I'm using it more and more.
I'm finally learning
me
how the
too.
fuck to use it, because before I didn't really pay a lot of attention.
Right.
I swear to God, I'm still not going to get Snapchat down. I think I'm just diametrically
neither.
opposed
I'm
to
with
it.
you, yeah.
But
Foes.
Twitter is okay. So today, I was at my desk doing some other stuff for work and prep for the show, and I just happened to see on the Twitter feed Katie Tur from NBC had posted about Madeleine Albright today was on Andrea Mitchell's show, and she posted that something about Madeleine Albright's brooch was great. It was a fabulous brooch.
Oh.
So the interview was already
What did she wear?
the interview was over, so I had to go online later to find it, and I did.
Oh, it's an online tour. if
And
you ever
then
get a chance.
I retweeted it and liked the post and tweeted back to Katie Tur. She responded and liked my post. So at the top one, Katie Tur, Madeleine Albright's brooch on Mitchell Reports is fantastic. I then liked it, responded back. She liked it and responded back to me, and I loved it. I
That's
just thought
exciting when
that is
celebrities
exciting.
retweet you or
Well, no,
respond.
but I think it is. She's so fucking busy, you know, running from every place in the world to grab news and report, because I've decided that none of them sleep.
Yeah.
But here's the brooch that she had on. It's the Lady Liberty brooch that Madeleine Albright wore today, and I just thought it's okay. But I just thought it was cool that she liked it. I liked it.
You know, here's a unifying fact that we can really throw out there and start to get behind. Everyone at this day and age sits on the toilet with their phone in their hand. So these people are just, they're on Twitter. That's when
Wherever she is.
I'm convinced. Yeah, wherever she is,
I-
all over the world, she's got to sit down a couple of times a day, and boom, 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 she's looking at her mentions.
And Madeleine Albright's brooches are part of an art tour that goes around. They were at the
that's
Phoenix Art
fantastic.
Museum
Oh.
during the Hollywood costumes. And so to see what she wore to important meetings or summits and why she wore them, the explanation is there for what they represented. It was
cool.
wonderful, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
It's very thoughtful. I'm
mean,
on
it's a
my way
shame
to
I didn't
there.
talk about it on here.
I recognized that it was Tuesday today, so I wore my black V-neck. It's very, very similar.
I appreciate that. It's very nice.
That
Very
is good
nice.
stuff.
On Tuesdays, we wear V-necks.
Some.
You can sit with us. You can do it if you want to.
So I did.
Hey, Annette.
Yes.
Hi, Nat.
Oh my God, there she is. It's very busy in there. God, I felt like there was one other thing I was going to tell you, and I spaced it, but it doesn't really matter.
Two
at this
of two
point.
things.
Oh, I got a little extra last night. It was so funny. Did y'all realize?
Whoa.
Did y'all realize?
Thank you. No,
Stand
thank
by.
you, Kat. Oh,
Wait.
'cause
No,
I
did
was
anybody
like,
else realize
my eyes got big
there
again.
was Rachel was
Surprise.
on for her normal hour, and then she came back at
You
midnight.
got some extra of your
Yeah.
boyfriend. You know what? I saw she said something about it on Twitter.
Oh.
I, of
that's
course,
funny.
don't have a cable subscription.
But when I was watching, I wound up watching Brian Williams' 11th Hour live.
Oh.
And I'm just sitting there, and it was on, and he says, in our continuing coverage, Rachel Maddow's coming back for another hour. And I'm like, huh? And he's like, that's right. And literally tossed
Like
to her.
bonus
I was like,
boyfriend.
what? She was so pissed and so angry about so much that she needed 2 hours
So meant
to
you
get
guys-
She's
it.
like, somebody keep me on.
I wonder
keep
why
me
I
on the
didn't
air.
get. That bums me out because I listen to her every day now through the podcast
Right.
magic,
Right.
and I
You're
did
so
not get
cute
the
in
second
that.
hour.
I don't know if that's part of her deal, but it was
I'm
interesting.
very unhappy. I'm going to tweet her.
But
I think you should.
Put that online, bitch.
That's what everybody's doing. It.
anytime you speak, we need to hear it.
Yeah, but I know how you feel. When I was in San Francisco,
really
for
know how I
I do.
feel?
I actually
Do
do.
you? Okay.
I'm not empathizing. I just know.
Is Rachel Maddow your boyfriend too?
No. It about the retweet. I'm not talking about Maddow.
right.
So I had a picture that I took. This obviously didn't come true, but Hillary Clinton was at San Francisco Pride
Okay.
in a car between these two gals. She was a cutout.
Oh, okay.
And because they had just made an announcement that she was at New York Pride
Okay.
and that she was in the parade at the exact same time. And so I took the picture and I put it on Twitter. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. You had to help me get that set up long time ago.
Oh, your Twitter account.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I put it on there and I said, well done, future Madam President. You can be in two. You have a superpower to be in two places at one time. And all of a sudden I get this, we would like to retweet it, or they retweeted it, and it was some news person who had found it, and I was like, I got retweeted.
I got acknowledged.
And I thought, am I really that excited about this? But I really was.
Well, that's okay.
Couldn't,
It can happen.
you can't deny the feelings. They were there.
Sometimes you get hooked on a feeling.
Sometimes.
Ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka.
Right.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. When you're down and out. Al, you just sent me something. What'd you send me? Something exciting?
I just sent you a fun, a fun Vegas sign.
Oh, well, hang on. Let me see if I can get that right quick before we go to.
And I do have a question.
We have answers. We make up shit
If
too.
I were to send you something else right now that's a video, would you be able to utilize that or no?
We can try.
Okay.
What the hell's you got there? Rumor? Read it. I can't read it that far. Read what you said.
Well, I just sent a tweet to the Maddow. Said at Maddow, rumor has it there was a second hour last night. Will that hit your podcast feed as well? As a girl on the go, I listen versus watch.
As a girl on the go.
I like it.
That's going to be one of her new
She's going to
segments.
identify with that.
Yeah. Well,
she's
I'm
trying
a
to
girl.
hook her in. Yeah, 'cause she's a girl on the go.
Hashtag girl on the go.
I didn't have enough room. I used up all of my
I know,
characters.
that pisses me off.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Here, I'm sending you one. I'm sending you two to put up.
This is the. Oh, well, okay. Well, I got the first one, but I'm going to wait now because we've got. It's stimulating talk radio here.
It really is.
What's the?
Because they're both gone and they were both so lovely. So the first one is the silver slipper, which was always fun.
I love this sign.
And it just says drag queens welcome here.
I'll have to look down.
They tore it down it's been a long time, but Boy Lesk played there for years.
I fortunately was able to see that sign. The second one, I was able to see it in person. Hang on, I'm going to show you what we're talking about.
And then the second one was my favorite, especially if you were a little boozy.
Oh, I'm talking about the second one. Yeah, you're talking about the first one is the drag queens welcome?
Yeah.
So hang on. So this one?
So the first one is the silver slipper with the glittery pump that spun around.
Got it. I never saw that. I saw the Frontier sign.
Oh, I've never seen
the
that.
fuck me heel.
Yeah.
And and that Frontier has been gone for forever. Like I barely remember the Frontier being there.
I believe I've seen that
it's
sign
been gone
though.
a long
But like
time.
there's the Desert Inn, and the Desert Inn is where the Mirage is.
Oh,
now.
and the
That's-
Sands. If you look
or
on
the Wynn. I think the Desert Inn became the Wynn, and there's the Sands. They're all gone.
Yeah, all
But
gone.
the Boy Lesk with that, I mean, it was just so Las Vegas to have a big giant glitter pump
Glittery
spinning in the
slipper.
air.
And I always loved this sign.
And if you were a little boozy,
I thought that was a great sign.
watching that sign light up, if you were just the right amount of a buzz on, you could sit and stare at that sign
This
because
one.
it would twinkle up and fill
Yes.
up, and then it
yeah.
would drain and like
Yes.
it would go
Oh, that's
away.
pretty.
Oh,
I always thought fascinating the technology, even back then, the technology to make all of those signs work because they were very animated, with the neon and all of the different lights and stuff. I thought it was very, very cool. Marnie, send me whatever you want to send, and we'll see what magic we can make.
so I mean, but that's an idea of like how empty that was. Is look at the space between the desert and the sands.
So
Like,
much, yeah.
There's only like 4 hotels in that
Yeah.
picture. Where like now there's literally 60 in that block.
Yeah, it's insane. And
Because I think Circus would be behind us. Like I think this is looking.
I don't know.
South.
front,
I think it's looking south, and I think Circus and Caesars would be behind us at where we're standing.
I think you're correct that you're looking south based on where the sun is in this picture, because the shadows are being cast this way. So that would have been west. So yeah, you're looking south.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's a lot of work there.
You're-
And yes, I know. And yes, I know who Save Ferris is. That's really cool that they liked your post.
Oh, I know who Save Ferris is. That group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, but that is cool.
I bet if you heard the song,
Yeah.
because it was actually oddly it was a song I think LaHoot used to do. One of their songs she did. I don't know why, but they're Save Ferris.
Who knows why she does any?
For crying out loud, Save Ferris. What is that? Anyway. Well, we're going to come back with headlines. I'm sure it's going to be very exciting for everybody because we have those to do. The drinking word will be coming up in about 10 minutes or so. In the meantime, it's Q Talk America. Welcome to it.
Hey girl, you okay?
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Are you ready for this? It's a 30-second dance break.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Alrighty, kids, we're going to make an attempt at getting some headlines done on this Tuesday night. It's Q Talk America, the 31st day of January 2017. Oh, a pastor flees scene naked and afraid.
Attaboy, Scouts.
Mississippi proposes fines and counseling.
I just love J.K. Rowling.
Trump is a recycling madman.
What happened to the cake?
Honey, change the battery.
Trump is going to protect the gays.
And is that a moose in your basement, or are you just happy to see me? These and others titillating stories coming up right here. You Talk America.
I feel like that whole category of headlines could be things heard outside of homosexuals' house.
Oh,
Maybe.
I'll take metaphors for 1,000. My God. Well, innuendo, yes. This story, and I love people who act like they're better than everybody else. A well-known Tallahassee pastor was forced to flee naked after a husband came home early and found him having sex with that man's wife. The details of the January 17th episode outlined in a police report combined with Pastor Jermaine Simmons addressed to members of his Jacob Chapel congregation about the incident have been subject of intense social media and internet buzz of late. The address, which was filmed and uploaded to YouTube by someone in the congregation, has been seen by tens of thousands of people over the last week. I did not look up the link to it. Now let's take a look of the pastor here. He's an upstanding man right there. I mean, not a bad looking guy. Look right there. In an address to his members, Simmons seemed to portray the congregation and the victim and himself as the victims. Well, of course he did. Why wouldn't he be the victim? Because he found himself stuck in somewhere else, literally. He says, quote, and Kat, I almost gave this to you to read in a voice, but
my goodness,
we're not. He says, quote, "I'm hurting because I've hurt you," Simmons said January 22nd. Quote, "I can't speak to the people on the outside. I am not Tallahassee's pastor. I am not Florida's pastor. I am Jacob Chappell's pastor. And it hurts me that you have to defend my actions. You cannot defend sin," he continued, to loud applause from the congregation.
As God is my witness.
Oh my God!
I'll never go hungry.
The scandal broke during the same week Simmons and the church were celebrating the 11th anniversary of his leadership. I guess he got a little celebratory booty. I guess what he was doing.
Around with that birthday fuck.
He was except she was married.
Still.
He was scheduled to hold a signing of his first book. The book entitled "I Need a Man," literally not "I need a man," but "I Need a Man," oddly, which according to his website's description offers a fresh perspective of the issues of godly manhood and mentoring. He was with a woman, right? Yeah. Simmons.
I feel like that's his secret drag
Now,
name.
Simmons, who is married and has a son, is well known in Florida's capital city for addressing the physical and spiritual needs of college students and the downtrodden.
Boy, howdy.
He established a cold night shelter and organizes the annual back-to-school bash, which collects and distributes backpacks and other school supplies for hundreds of Tallahassee children. However, his recent actions outside the pulpit have brought him some unwanted attention. According to a Tallahassee police report, officers went to the Sienna Square apartment on Capitol Circle Northeast in the middle of the afternoon, afternoon delight on January 7th.
Hold me tight.
That's enough.
That's it. Now, this is after a woman called to report. This is the police. Afternoon delight.
Arrested Development, whenever they would sing it on there, and it would always be like a father-son duo, and they'd be like, "This song is filthy."
Now, the police responded on the afternoon of January 17th after a woman called to report that her husband was angry and he had a handgun after he encountered his wife and Simmons having sex in the daughter's bedroom. Oh my God, this gets worse.
Wow.
Well, at least she didn't want to do it in her own bed.
Did you vet this story?
The man came home early in the afternoon.
Alternative bedrooms.
The man came home early after the school called him to pick up his son who had fallen ill at school. The school had tried unsuccessfully to reach the wife. She was busy.
She's very busy.
According to the woman, Simmons came over to discuss starting a business and provided. He came over to discuss starting a business about providing less fortunate kids with clothes and shoes, but they ended up in bed together. That is a meeting.
Clothes and shoes and a birthday fuck. That's on the. There's your wish list.
The woman told police that Simmons had began establishing a relationship with her last October.
Goodness gracious.
Oh my
If he
God.
came over and suggested something to me, I'd be like, have we thought about a birthday fuck?
Oh my God. That's funny shit right there.
The Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Big news.
Big news.
Big news. People are going to be very,
Still
very
no
excited
cookies.
about this. Very
I
excited.
might join again. I was one a long time ago.
The Boy Scouts, reversing a
money to see
century-old
I have
stance,
pictures.
will allow transgender boys. I was really excited to read this. With everything going on
I know what
in this fucking day and age,
Yeah.
I thought there is some good news out there.
That the Boy Scouts has decided to, like, let's be kind to
Right.
people.
In the
It's
last
like
couple
that.
of years, like to first allowing gay kids,
Gay,
and
gay
then
scoutmasters,
gay
which, I mean, if you
scoutmasters.
want to be a scoutmaster, doesn't that just sound gay?
Yeah, kind of, and the little shorts.
I mean, scout mistress sounds
Yeah.
gayer,
Yeah,
but it's pretty
right.
close.
On the list of things that sound real fucking gay,
Right.
I feel like that's in the top 25.
It could be. It could be,
Scoutmaster.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it could be.
You go higher?
I'd go higher.
Yep,
I can think of some pretty gay things. We're gonna make a list.
it's good stuff.
Head stapler. I mean, it just sounds gay.
Oh, we're gonna make a list on here. We're just gonna keep it in perpetuity. We're gonna make a little checklist. Carry on, please.
Is there a shovel coordinator? I don't know. Do you need?
Fist enthusiast.
Oh,
You better read your story.
Was there a badge for that?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
it was brown.
oh,
Sorry.
oh boy.
Sorry, it's too
boy.
easy. You lob it over the plate, somebody's going to hit it back.
Absolutely.
Pray continue, milady.
Yeah. So for more than 100 years, the Boy Scouts of America, along with schools, youth, sports, and other youth organizations, have ultimately deferred to the information on an individual's birth certificate to determine eligibility for our single-gender programs, the group had said in a statement. However, that approach is no longer sufficient as communities and state laws are interpreting gender identity differently. And these laws vary widely from state to state. So the fact that they're even looking at that
Right,
is
right.
huge. The announcement came last night, and it reverses a policy that drew controversy late last year when a transgender boy in New Jersey was kicked out of the organization about a month after joining. After weeks of significant conversations at all levels of our organization, we realized that referring to birth certificate as the reference point is no longer sufficient. Again, Michael Serbaugh said. The announcement came amid a national debate over transgender rights, with cities and states across the nation struggling with whether and how to regulate gender identity in the workplace, in restrooms, and at schools. And the young boy that they were referring to is right here.
I hope this goes well.
And
was asked to leak his truth because he's transgender. I want them to be comfortable with how I am and what my destiny is and what my identity is.
The new policy brings the Boy Scouts in line with the Girl Scouts, who've been admitting transgender girls for years.
Sorry about that quality.
I'm going to teach you how to do audio.
Please do. I'm
that,
sorry.
yeah.
I just didn't.
But I mean, if all you want to do is wear brown and hike around the woods being prepared for shit that's probably not going to happen, God bless you.
Right. Poison ivy
'Cause we're
is
gonna-
good to know, but
But we're
you
going to
know,
need
right.
you later. I mean, I feel like you're going to learn some useful shit.
Right.
I'm gonna add wear brown and hike around to the list.
What's your official?
Well, I mean,
I
but-
wear brown
but
and I
when
hike
you-
around.
When you see that
Not a UPS driver.
that young man, to see him and hear
Could be
that
gay.
story and hear him just like I
Yeah.
just want people to know what my
Right.
whatever my destiny is. That this is, just to accept me, and
Yeah.
I just thought what a little sweetheart.
I mean, if they're not
And-
making it a daisy chain, go ahead.
Why
You know what I mean?
not?
If it's some
Right.
kind of sex camp, then sure, maybe.
right,
But go for it. Like the kid wants to wear the little outfit with a scarf and look like a flight attendant.
He
and
just
go out into
doesn't
the
want to
woods.
sell cookies.
Right. Or wear the brown. And why do they always pick brown? Were there no good
I know,
colors
right?
available?
No.
well, they have to blend
Boys-
in.
I think the
Boys-
fabric is cheap.
If I'm not mistaken, is it
Boy Scouts wear navy blue.
Yeah, navy blue, and then you get up to the Webelos, and then I know they're brown. Swear to
Come on,
God.
You're going to walk right into Webelos?
Are you kidding me?
I have
Talk
to-
about
are
a,
you
talk
ser-
about a meatball.
Are you sure they're not
Wait.
the clergy?
No,
Boy
he's
Scouts?
absolutely right. It's
It's when you get to the
it's Cubs.
is it Cub Boy Webelo?
No, I think it's
Bear.
I know you think I'm making this up, but I'm not.
How do you spell that?
Well, no
I
wonder
think
they
it's-
didn't want gays
I think
in there.
it's either W E
Right, when
B
the
L
third
O.
step is we blow. Come on.
And the first step is cub.
And you know somebody, some guy named it. I mean, it's not like
You know what would be funny? If we just said we blow. Maybe make it Troop 69.
Is it W E B
the
L O?
highest is the
Hang on.
One hopes
anal
not.
compartment.
I swear to God.
The caboose.
Webelo.
Oh, it's French.
We below. Can we at least add a syllable? Where is that innuendo bound?
In any event,
John Jay, I don't think that's innuendo, though. When you call it Webelos, I think we're pretty much on the nose. Well,
on the something.
little south of
Pinocchio's
the
nose. Whatever.
Oh, shit, the Boy Scouts hate us now.
Yeah, done.
You secretly want his tea bags on your face.
kind listeners, moments ago, I want you to know this is very important news. Moments ago, I started a list in my Google Keep app.
Yeah.
This list is entitled Things That Sound Real Gay. So far I have
L.T. Perkins.
Fist Enthusiast, Scoutmaster, Wear Brown and Hike Around. I also like that it rhymes.
Yeah,
Oh, it's a fun part.
It gives it a
I
certain
feel like
elegance.
LM Squared is going to work that into his next musical.
LM Square.
And Webelo Scout. These are
Pick your favorite. You only get one. Webelos Scout 1.
this list
no
will
plural there.
live in perpetuity as long as the show with Clayton
Oh
McKee
my God, that almost
shall live.
I know, and Aaron says tying knots can be useful for being gay. I know. I'd still have a boyfriend if I tied a better knot.
Because he was trying to run away.
Yeah.
Got away, yeah.
They scream a lot, but it's only because they're trying to get out of the house.
In fact, I'm going to pin this list to the top.
That's
Couldn't
funny.
Some people scream, "Oh God!" Mine scream, "Get me out
Let
of
me
here!
out!
Help!"
Help! Right.
Could locksmithing be also part
Oh,
of
that sounds blacksmithing.
Oh! Well, that's if you're making horseshoes.
And
I'm
the-
just
yeah,
going to put smithing.
smithing. Just the general art of smithing.
Oh, God.
The one piece of this that I thought was interesting was that to tie into the horrible things of today, but Rex Tillerson, who I am not a fan of
No.
in any way, shape, or form,
Only Russia is.
oddly was the
was a
he was
Webelo?
involved in getting the organization to accept gay scouts and leaders. I thought that
He
was,
thought they had oil. Somebody wanted.
Right.
He wanted to drill them.
Oh, that when they were talking about lube, I think that's what happened.
Probably so.
They were like,
But
"Oh,
it's
grease
silicone.
it up," and he thought, "Oh,
Silicone-based,
Oh, my bad." But I really did think that was interesting. He was the national president of the Boy Scouts of America for 2010
So wait a minute.
and
So,
11.
so he has a redeeming quality about him.
that's
He
what
lobbied,
that's-
he
yeah.
lobbied the Boy Scouts to accept gay use. It's like the first thing that comes up
Yeah,
about
and
him.
he was on the executive board in 2013 when it voted to lift the ban on gay scouts. I thought there's nothing redeeming about
How the
this man.
fuck
But
how did that get that in there? That's crazy.
Yep.
Harvey Milk. Here's why. All of these assholes have... No.
Well, she's got a legitimate
all
point
right,
here.
I have a point here.
apparently.
I have a point
Just
here.
one thing or two?
Right, just
Just
I'm
the
gonna-
one?
I'm gonna
Just the
say
one?
two,
Yeah.
just in case.
There's the door open.
One ish.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, look, put
Put
that
a
down.
pin in that,
Mark,
put a
mark
pin in
that
that.
down.
Put a
Leave
Door
the-
opener,
No, no.
very gay.
Leave the door open. Yeah, that's on the list.
No, because Harvey Milk's big thing was they can't vote against us. They can't discriminate us if they realize that we are them, right? If they realize that we're their sons, uncles, nephews, cousins,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think, especially when somebody like Rex Tillerson is all of a sudden pro-gay, not all of a sudden, but is in a generation that you wouldn't expect.
Sure.
There's a homo in that family there somewhere.
Yeah, it's how we
Oh,
got.
you know what I mean?
That's how we
Like,
got
this
Portman
is-
for Ohio, from Ohio to be.
Yeah.
what is it? Newt
For gay
Gingrich's
marriage.
daughter is also
No, Cheney.
Sister.
Right.
Cheney.
So that
Cheney's daughter Gingrich's half sister, who's Kate.
Oh.
Clinton.
That's the one. That's
I
the
didn't
one.
know that.
Her name's
Okay.
But
Clinton,
that cry of come out wherever you are. This generation of living as we are, as out loud as we possibly can, I think is the Harvey Milk legacy. I think it's gonna pay off.
Look at us. We were just making fun of shit, and she brought us back to.
Boom, back to reality.
Damn it!
Slot
Carlson.
machine operator.
And Al's back. Nice. All right.
One-armed
Bandit.
Oh, you like the one?
Yeah.
Totally
Just
different.
that
Totally
one guy.
separate. Oh,
Oh.
I just wanted to make sure. I
No,
wasn't.
I mean,
sure.
same family.
I think before we get any further into this headline story, I think we're going to have to do this because I have a feeling that this word is going to be important coming up later.
And now, a drink along. We dare you to stay awake during this royalty-free music and to play a drinking game with us. If you are currently or soon to be driving a car, you cannot play. If you are presently the primary caregiver for children and or the elderly, you may desperately want to play, but no. If you are listening from a rehab facility, you are disqualified because you already hit bottom. And that means you already won this game at least once. If playing this game is in any way illegal for you, put the bottle down and make better life choices. There is no good in your goodbye, and there is no lifeguard on duty, so you will be swimming at your own risk. Tell your lawyer to take the fucking day off. You can't sue us. We warned you. Good luck.
Webelos. Which, according to some, is an innuendo. I don't see how, but
Well
I
played.
think that's spit shine on.
I know they have different uniforms, and the Webelos are older.
well, it's got heels and knee pads. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Wow. They don't give badges; they give sashes. Is that different? I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. And a napkin, a tissue. I'm sorry.
Well, that handkerchief's got to come in handy at some point.
Exactly. You've got the
That's
scarf
right.
around your
Yeah.
neck.
You got the kerchief there.
You're
for a
always
reason.
prepared.
It's always that I ran into an old friend.
There you
Actually,
go.
as
Always
I
prepared.
As
I
I
like it.
recall how the kerchief went around, because
Was that a cock ring?
No,
Oh, all right.
No.
but as it
He says,
Tried
he
that.
says quickly.
Emphatically, yeah.
but as I
No.
recall, you put the kerchief together in the front, and it was a triangle in the back. If you just turn it around, it becomes a bib
There you go.
with a little.
Or in a jaunty way off to the side that says, "This is my airline."
Well, no, then you
Thurston
become
Howell.
Charles Nelson
Yeah.
Riley, and you own a boat.
On Love American style.
And Brett Summers is with you on a boat.
Trying to do the dirty with Brett Summers. Exactly. As our demographic
Oh,
just
funny.
aged 50 years.
It's all right.
True. God.
Does anybody know what this is?
Nope.
Oh.
Weeblo?
No, it's not a
But we
weed
don't
blow.
fall down.
The way prison.
Oh, it's
the way
someone's ass.
prisoners wear their shorts.
Well, a Mississippi lawmaker has
Or the
decided
plover.
that
It's a
I
lucky
saw
ass.
a Mississippi lawmaker has decided he does not want to see your underwear or anybody's underwear, for that matter. Tom Weathersby, who is this, I'm sure, level-headed, white, middle-aged American. He's a Republican serving in the state's House, that would be in Mississippi, state's House of Representatives. He has proposed a law that could lead to fines and even counseling for people who wear sagging pants or a style in which pants hang so low that your underwear is exposed. Quoting him, personally, I like to see people dressed when they're in public, and I like to see people with their pants up.
No.
I was never a Weeblo, he said. I'm kidding.
Swear to Christ. Never a Weeblo.
That's good.
Weathersby's bill introduced
I'm
last
drinking
week.
on this one.
He would make it unlawful for any. It would make it unlawful for any person to wear pants, shorts, or clothing bottoms that exposes the underwear or body parts in an indecent or vulgar manner. The penalty for the first offense of the non-criminal citation is a warning, and for juveniles, notifying their parents or guardians. After that, fines begin at $20 for a second offense and run up to $100 for the sixth offense. That sixth offense would also include psychological and social counseling by the Department of Health and Human Services. Both departments have faced budget cuts and staff shortages in recent years in Mississippi. Weathersby's bill does not include funding for either department, of course, in order to counsel people on wearing saggy pants. Several other communities have banned saggy pants over the years, including Opelika, Florida, Wildwood, New Jersey. In 2015, 4 high school students in Tennessee were charged with indecent exposure. I remember this. And 2 were jailed for wearing saggy pants.
It depends on what you're showing. And I just showed you a picture because it just came up in fashion. So
You sent me a picture?
yeah, I just sent
Oh.
you a picture a second ago,
Okay.
for you to put up for the viewers because we'll go to Fashion Police. The one thing is, like, if you show, like, the underwear band, like, there's that way to kind of wear your jeans in a jaunty way, just slightly lower than your underwear so people can see that you spent way too much on a basic foundation garment,
Right.
which I do not understand. But then there's the
And
ones...
yet appreciate if done appropriately.
Right. Because that's how I I had to have someone spell out to exist to me because I didn't know what the fuck. But then there's the
number
ones
two.
that are, like, all the way down past their ass. So, like, you're looking at someone's see-through white underwear.
Yeah.
Not an entirely
Oh, sorry, that
unpleasant
was me.
situation. I'm not going to say. Or I'm going to say. Did I say it? I said it.
Okay, so what about this?
So Kate Hudson at the SAG Awards did this little goth number, and it was right off the runway. They had changed a little bit of the bottom panel so that it didn't have another band. Like there wasn't like a peekaboo part a little bit lower. But if you look, you can see an underwear band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's wearing that with men's underwear under a couture dress, and it's how it's supposed to be worn. It was how it was worn on the runway. And I'm like, oh.
What are you doing? What's
I don't know. At some point, I told my phone to play "The Head and the Heart." So, but it was just one of those things where, and I had to agree with the fashion police that, like, why are we looking at men's underwear under this dress? Like, why, God, why? Like, so there you go. So this whole thing, like, somebody put her away. I love her, and I think it looks pretty good.
Oh, and in
kind of.
fact, if you zoom in closer, which I realized, if you zoom in, there's the waistband of the underwear.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She's
Oh, I didn't
wearing
even
men's
see that.
Dior
That was
underwear.
the focus point of the.
Oh, but
the
I
whole
didn't.
picture.
I couldn't see it that far out. I couldn't see
Yeah.
it. Got
So
it.
that's the thing is that she's wearing Dior men's boxers, or who knows? They could be tidy whities, but she's wearing them underneath and showing them through a couture dress, which is how it was designed. Like that's how it walked the runway. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Interesting.
I don't think Tim Gunn would ever let that out of the
He'd
project.
say that it didn't work.
Project the run the
Project runway onto the runway.
right, but what's the
Out of the
room?
workroom.
The
The-
workroom.
Yeah.
I don't think he
I don't
would
know.
ever.
It was just a weird thing that I'm like, okay, now we're going in reverse. Now that's going to like women showing men's underwear under
Now
a couture dress.
it might be a.
Listen, that's been a thing at the Cash-In Country.
Yeah.
Oh, that
for a
reminds me of
really
something. I
long
gotta
time.
write that down.
Oh,
Well, that's
please do.
because the Webelos Scout is there helping them dress.
Now, this might be
Now.
it might be an urban myth, but if I'm not mistaken, that whole bullshit, and I don't care for it either. I mean, unless the guy's got a really cute butt. But I don't. This whole style of wearing your underwear down didn't that.
Prison.
It's in prison.
Yeah.
That's
So
why I
that
said
it,
it was a
it's
prison look.
signaled other inmates that you were willing to have sex with other inmates. That's how that started.
I understand it.
I don't know if that's
She
an
can-
urban. I don't know if that's an urban legend or if
Right.
it's true.
Because that's what the big joke is that they tell kids.
Right, they all think it's cool to do it, but
Right,
it's
and
like,
it's
do you
like,
realize what you're signaling?
Right.
And in some cases, it's accurate.
Correct.
I'm just saying. But I don't have any. I don't care for it
And
either.
some of them are just Webelos, so they don't do it down there.
I'd rather see somebody in a fully up pair of pants that's just a little tighter than it should be, showing what they got to offer. That's my personal thing. Marn, take it
Well,
away, my dear.
There, remember
According to
the
Snopes, that is true.
I thought it was true because I heard that on the news. Okay, that Butterfinger thing didn't work out as well as I hoped.
Did you just have a big butterfinger in the bottom of your coffee?
But I'm gonna go get some more coffee and hopefully mix
I think
it up.
stir vigorously is
I
part of it.
take the potato masher out.
Get the
Crunch
get
it
the
up a little
nougat
bit.
the nougat retriever. How's that for a gay job?
Oh boy.
Nougat retriever.
I'm gonna
Corn
go.
finder.
I feel like you're reaching.
Be the
now.
corn finder.
It has to come organically.
Corn finder. Shucker.
Shucker, I'll allow. Shucker, I'll allow. You
Corn
gotta-
shucker.
You
Yeah.
gotta
Corn
come at
shucker.
it organically.
Yeah.
You can't manufacture this.
Shucker.
Yeah.
So wrong.
So there was, you remember the whole bakery thing with the making the cake and the gays and the this and that. Well, here's how the bakery that made Trump's inauguration cake brilliantly trolled him.
I love this.
So,
Do we have a picture?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Is it in Clayton McKee's capable hands?
Nope, not yet.
Oh.
Do you want to send it while I'm doing this? That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
She yells from the kitchen.
Oh.
She yells. Now she yells in the kitchen. Listen to her.
So, anyway, so the inauguration cake was an exact replica of Obama's
His eggnog cake
The inauguration.
from
cake.
the Weeblo Corporation.
And so on Friday, the for the inauguration, the Friday of the inauguration, the bakery made that. The bakery that made Obama's cake in 2013.
They were commissioned to make it, right?
They were.
Yeah.
And they sent out a tweet about it because, our POTUS likes the tweet because that's so fun to say about our president.
Yeah.
The cake on the left, it says, and Kat, do you have it or no?
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
sending
send
it
it.
now.
Okay. Thank you. Because otherwise I would try to explain it. The cake on the left is the one made for President Obama's inauguration 4 years ago. And the one on the right is Trump's. And they are identical. The tweet
Except for the
sure
little skull and
seemed
crossbones.
It looked just like Skinny and Sweet.
Yeah. The tweet sure seemed like a jab at Trump, but then it turned out the cake was supposed to be a spitting image.
There's your picture.
Of Obama's cake, and everything is cool. Well, kind of. Buttercream Bake Shop, who was commissioned to make the Trump cake, posted it on an Instagram on Saturday, explaining that they were hired to make an exact replica of Obama's cake. Then they brilliantly trolled him and his homophobic, hate-mongering administration by announcing where all of the proceeds from the cake are going.
That's the best.
And as you scroll down here...
Wait for it.
It says, excited to share the cake we got to make for one of last night's inaugural balls. While we do love catering original designs, when we are asked to duplicate someone else's work, we are thrilled when it is a masterpiece like this one. And it wasn't the same exact. Duff Goldman originally created this for Obama's inauguration 4 years ago, and this year's committee commissioned us to recreate it. Best part is all the profits are being donated to the Human Rights Campaign.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, went to HRC.
That's nice.
Aaron, that is correct, Aaron. The cake that was a duplicate, yes.
Yep.
The proceeds went to...
The HRC.
Yes.
Yep, went to the Human Rights Campaign. They said one of our favorite charities who we have loved working with over the years because basic human rights are something every man, woman, and child, straight, gay, or the rainbow in between, deserve. And I just loved it. I just thought that was fantastic. So 100% of the profits from that cake intended to celebrate the inauguration of a president and vice president with a horrific record on LGBT rights were donated to a pro-LGBT rights group. And that is a jab. I love it.
Yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely. I thought
And
it
the
was
fact that the two boys, as it were, because I mean that literally,
They were Webelos.
they act the Webelos of Pence and Trump, cutting the gay rights cake.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Right.
And they're holding a sword, a Webelo.
It's sword fighting.
And they're sword fighting, but both of them have their hands wrapped around the sword as they cut the cake. And I just
all
love
of
that.
these, if there are no visuals to that.
I know.
Yeah.
It sounds like a porn is what's
Yeah.
happening.
It does, and that's why I think it's fantastic.
It sounds like they're
Yep,
enjoy
the
it.
two
literally-
boys holding a sword were cutting into the pro-gay cake. Pro-gay rights cake, whatever.
Oh, my. Kat, I just realized the picture that I have that's coming up for you in two things later.
Yeah.
The second one you sent, the first one you sent me.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, just making sure. Oh no, but I think I love that story. I read that. In fact, I may have thought I was going to do it at one point. And we never did, but no, I thought that was a great story because I thought to myself, at first when it was out there, I'm like, well, that's interesting. I didn't recognize the cake, and then I started hearing rumors about this cake was a knockoff, and I'm like, okay, they couldn't even fucking get their own goddamn cake.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
but apparently somebody which I don't get, like somebody liked it enough to that's a beautiful. I want a cake that nice.
Right.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, and the last line: "Revenge is a dish best served with a side helping of a good cause."
Yeah,
I
no
have
shit.
scoop ice cream to
is.
cut the sweetness.
I know, right? It's fantastic. I
Absolutely.
like it. Positively.
My heavens. Well, this story made me laugh, and there's not much to the story, but there's a lot of pictures, and we'll just go through them because it's funny to me. There was a photograph of a recycling bin that bears a similarity to the orange dumpster fire. It had surfaced online, and apparently Reddit users, which is another app that I don't use and don't know anything about,
I really want to learn though. They're very smart there too.
They couldn't resist resharing it. So a ferocious Photoshop battle sprang up from this. They put hilarious new spins on the already amusing image, which Thomas Regenball took in Paris. was first posted back in 2014, actually. Let me show you what they've done. It's a so-called recycling bin Trump, and they put him on a horseback with Putin. They put him into the Lego movie. They put him in all kinds of things. So let me show you. This is the original. It just happened to be a recycling bin with a yellow top, and it became the dumpster.
Amazing.
That
So
is really great.
Photoshop people have gone crazy, and they have put it in all kinds of things. Here he is at one of his speeches, and then they put him in. I forget what this series is called.
Bob the
Builder. Right, they put him in Bob the Builder. Here they put him in the Lego movie, so he's part of the.
Oh my
That
God.
thing is awesome.
That's awesome.
They put him in. There's an Amazon box that feels bad for him, I guess. So they're doing that.
Oh, that's great.
Put him in this one, Al. I thought you'd get a kick out of because you'll recognize the reference.
I don't.
It's a music video.
Yes, like
Money for Nothing in the
Money,
Chicks Are
yes.
Free.
There it is,
Dire
there it is,
Straits.
there it is.
Dire Straits.
I
Okay.
completely blanked on the name of it. Dire
Yeah,
Straits. Yes,
I was like, I did
they
not
put him in
see-
that. Obviously, here he is giving a speech.
I want the one. There was the first one that you had up there. I want that one.
Well, I'll give you any of them. There he is actually doing.
I want that one.
Here he is signing. Oh, he's drawing the picture of the cat for cats on this one. I'm sure that's what he's doing there.
I'm sure it's what
Yes.
he's doing.
But this one where they put him on the horseback with Putin, I thought that was fantastic.
Oh my God, that's
Which one are
funny.
you talking about? You talking about this one?
Yeah, I want that one. Send me that one.
Well, I can send you all of them, but
I
yes.
just want that one. Let's edit. Speaking of Project Runway, let's edit your work.
Well,
There's that. So that's that story. I just thought that was enjoyable to see that
That was enjoyable.
something out of a recycle bin you just happened to see.
It was from the Weeblo collection.
the
of
Weebelo.
So those are now. What is it John called those? Those are the bells of innuendo.
photos. The bells of innuendo. There's something about the phrase "Weeblo" that doesn't leave a lot to innuendo.
No, but I just
It's
love
really
the fact
not
that
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
kind
like
of innuendo.
the bells. That sounds like a 1950s Christmas movie.
The bells of innuendo. It takes place in Italy.
It's a sequel to It's a Wonderful Life.
A bathhouse in
Yeah,
Italy.
Sophia Loren is there.
It's where you find out that every time a bell rings, they're not exactly wings that grow, but something grows.
Something.
Every time a bell rings, an angel takes it up the ass.
Wow.
Wow!
Yes.
We blowing the hell out of it.
Oh my god.
I have to say, this is the first time that I've used the whole write on screen and it becomes actual words in text. And it's a little slow, but I greatly enjoy it.
But it has to also learn your writing, or do you give it samples and it
I'm not
learns
really
from there?
sure.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I just started using it.
Okay.
I forgot a space there in the chat room, though.
Oh, you're using it to actually
I'm using it right now
Oh,
to
that's
actually
cool.
do all of the things. I disconnected the keyboard altogether,
Oh.
and now I just write things.
Try do something. I just want to see you do it. I just want to see how this works. Do boom, boom, boom.
Wrote it.
Something. Send it. Look! Oh my!
There it is. There it is.
It's fucking magic.
Technology, ladies
For
and
real.
gentlemen.
That is cool.
That
You literally
happened.
wrote that.
You saw me write it.
I did. I watched you.
You're-
Right with
you're a
my own
witness.
eyes. Coffee is
I
good.
can write more
For
things.
real?
Marnie, do you have a story?
I do.
Oh. What happened? What do you
That's
need?
my story.
I don't know what happened to it.
More
I don't
things.
either. So that's why I'm
Oh, well,
trying
can
to
you
find it right
can you
on here.
can you refresh that screen?
Just try.
Oh.
I've been trying, and it just
Is the
keeps going
website
on.
is somebody down? Website down?
I don't think so.
The web is down. The web is down.
No, the web is not down.
So, I am going right here to my phone.
What if do we need like a GoFundMe to buy
No,
you a new
'cause-
device?
Because
I-
it was last week. It was
I
perfect.
changed out that Wi-Fi router, brand new,
That's okay.
$200,
Oh, yeah, the Apple one's
$200 router, brand new. Everything worked perfect last week. Everybody, you all didn't notice it because everything works perfect for you.
Didn't notice.
Hers worked perfectly,
It was
perfectly
wonderful.
fine last week.
Yep. And now we're just going
And
in
now-
circles. So I have it right
I'm gonna
here.
blow up that
I
motherfucking
know.
MacBook.
I
I
understand.
hate that.
I understand
Would
completely.
you know what's a really fun device?
A Surface,
It's a
apparently.
Microsoft Surface. I greatly enjoy them.
You can apparently write on it.
Al,
and it
you
will-
missed it. I'm writing with my own. Like,
Oh, do it
like a
again.
pen.
Do it for him.
Do it again. What should I write?
Show
Tell
me. Show me.
So, she just writes. It creates text, Now watch the chat room.
Say, show me. I wrote it just like that. And I tell it to go.
Boom.
And look, there it is.
Shut the
Boom.
fuck up.
Shut
Look
the-
at that.
It happened. That just happened.
That just happened.
It's a miracle.
A true
my
blue
miracle.
spectacle miracle comes true.
The miracle is
Speaking
you.
of Webelos, Barry Manilow. Not
Gay-
Cher.
Gay and married.
I like that you all went Cher.
I didn't go
Both
share.
I didn't go share.
Oh, I thought you both
I
did.
just naturally brushed my
Oh,
hair.
Oh, I
that's
did
true.
too. My long, luxurious blonde hair.
I was exhausted from all of my penmanship.
That is
So it's no secret that British author J.K. Rowling
Not anymore.
does not anymore. It's not going to be.
Tens of people
She
across
does-
the world know.
She's not a fan of the dumpster fire or his policies.
Who is?
She says when a man this ignorant and easy to manipulate gets within she had said this in the past, gets within sniffing distance of the nuclear codes, it's everyone's business. She tweeted a month before the 2016 election, defending her habit of using social media to take a stance on controversies surrounding the former reality star. The result of the election didn't stop her from speaking out on the issues she cares about. And Trump's latest executive order that targets Muslims and refugees is no exception. In fact, it's gotten the author into a retweeting kick in which she's shared gems like this. She's been... They don't come up on here. This is exciting. Sorry, guys.
Let me go to my Twitter account and look up J.K. Rowling.
This is ridiculous. I'm so sorry. In between where all the tweets are supposed to be, they're not there on my phone. So I'm like, I don't know. This is exciting. She said some funny shit though. And
Well,
Take my word for
is
it.
this the DVDs thing?
no, it was about it was just her going back and forth.
Because she had a nice burn earlier. Somebody that has since deleted their account, I think.
About the money.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
far
yeah.
as you spent your money and I
Well,
still have it.
Was referring to an article on Yahoo. So the tweet to J.K. Rowling, which I found funny, says, "Glad I caught this article on Yahoo. I will now burn your books and movies
Right.
too."
That was one
and
of them.
she responded, "Well, the fumes from the DVDs might be toxic, and I've still got your money, so by all means borrow my later."
She had
We
she-
blow
I
that,
love it.
motherfucker.
Yep. She had
Here, you need a match?
Yeah.
She was
Fuck you.
there was a thing about her sharing recent responses because in 2011 Trump Hotels had tweeted something out that said please share a favorite travel memory. And people were
good
responding.
times,
I
yes.
was detained in an airport once on the way back
Either
from
detained
Saudi
at an
Arabia.
airport or family members that years ago were brought in and then sent
Trump
back. And
Trump Hotels really
Yep.
stepped in it this week with share a travel memory, and they
Yep.
got crucified.
got screwed.
And there
Right.
is a movement afoot from internally and externally to change the names of all those hotels and get his name off of them because of the abuse that the people working there. And one of the things is because you can't reach. There's been a problem reaching the White House, and there's been a problem reaching
Mar-a-Lago?
Congress. No,
Oh.
congressmen
Congress,
and
yeah.
senators lately.
They won't empty their inboxes,
Yeah.
and they would prefer that we stop calling. So please don't stop
So
calling.
don't stop. I know, because I have the one guy in speed dial, and I've been
it came
trying
up.
for like a week.
finally.
But the
So
funny
excited.
thing is so people are calling Trump hotels and leaving their complaints
Oh.
there.
Sure, because he's
And-
still tied to them. So if you want to
Yes.
leave a message for the president, why don't you call one of his businesses?
So everyone's been doing it, but they're saying, they're like, please don't be shitty to the person that answers the phone.
No.
Like, say hi and hello to them, then leave your shitty message.
Well, there was a guy I saw on Twitter today who said he'd called Mar-a-Lago to book 200 rooms for Syrian refugees, and he said they hung up on him.
And I would have too, but that's still a good call. That's a real good call.
That's funny.
I'd like to make a reservation for how many? 200?
Yeah.
When you come in, well, they're Syrian refugees. Click.
Yeah. And there's one that, to her, you believe that there is one God good. Even the demons believe that and shudder, Shutter, from James, second book of James 19. And she writes back, I think you mean shudder. Unless there's a
Yes.
biblical character called Shudder, I've forgotten. So she's
She's out there
having
correcting
a wee
grammar.
bit of fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
And after the debate, well, there you have it. A highly intelligent, experienced woman just debated a giant orange Twitter egg. Your move, America. And she had put something. on, she said, in fact, it's gotten the author into this retweeting kick, and that one of the gems that she shared was a number of Americans killed annually by, and it has Islamic jihadist immigrants, 2. Far right-wing terrorists, 5.
That chart's been going everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen
and
it too.
that's what she had up. And George Takai, the number of fatal U.S. terrorist attacks by persons entering the U.S. from the 7 banned Muslim majority countries, 0. Stay informed. And so it goes back. I find it odd how the Bible is super relevant if you have to bake a cake for some gays, but not if desperate people need your help.
Yeah.
You know,
here's what I love about that chart, probably the most. You know who originated that on Twitter and who everyone's retweeting? Kim Kardashian West.
Yes, that's what it was underneath this. And
Oh,
I
because
thought,
they're from Iran,
Oh, sure.
aren't they?
good
Aren't they
call. That would
Iranian?
make sense.
They're
No, they're
No,
not.
it's what they call that on.
Oh God,
shit.
I forget where I forget their nationality. They're
Yeah, they're
The Shah.
they're Middle Eastern.
Shah's on Sunset was part of that group of them, wasn't it? Wasn't it called the
that's
Shah?
Iran. That's Iran.
Right, but wasn't that part of their group when there was a series on one of those stupid shows, a reality show.
Yeah, there
The
was.
Shahs of Sunset, and I thought they were connected to that.
They probably
Look at you just writing it.
I just
Googles
wrote
it.
it right there. Just
So
Armenian. They're Armenian.
Armenian.
Okay. Yeah, one of the when we were talking about the Trump hotel stuff.
My apologies. I did know that
Because
of
this
the People versus O.J. Simpson.
had finally come back up. It says at 18, one of the Twitter tweets that came in. At 18, my father fled the Nazis. 2 strangers from a youth hostel put up money for his UK visit. They saved his life. So talking about the favorite travel kind of things. When my grandmother came from Aleppo to Ellis Island and was welcomed to make a better life for herself in the USA, pass it on. And you know,
Yeah, and there was the big story yesterday that was going around. I think they were in Philadelphia. Was the Christian family from Syria? So they're actually being persecuted, and they've spent 15 years being vetted. Finally got through, and they got turned away at the border.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, so now you've denied Christians seeking asylum. You know what I mean? Just with your blanket ban. And
they'd sold,
but that one trended on. That was like number 1 on Twitter.
Quit his
yesterday.
job, sold everything, did all that, got the entire family here, and boom.
Yeah.
What a bunch. Ugh.
the whole thing.
And I love how they're all, they've all been saying how wonderfully it was executed, how far it went, and everybody's like, no, it was the most horrible deployment of this because you gave no specifics about all of the exceptions. Apparently there are exceptions built into it, but nobody bothered to mention any of that.
And that's what we were talking about when we started, that like Obama and Bush wrote some pretty tricky executive orders, but they had, well, in Obama you had a Harvard lawyer, and and Bush had some smart cookies on his team that helped get those things through when he signed the executive orders that made them stand up to court challenges. Like I think Obama only had the one fail. It was something to do with the ACA. Was it ACA or vote? Like something that they were kind of disappointed because they really thought they vetted this through. But they wrote this like 2 days ago in crayon, and they're like, why isn't that holding up to the judges?
Absolutely.
Well, and there's no, so I truly do think that, like, this first 2 weeks of agenda is meant to throw off well-meaning people.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a flurry of misinformation, bullshit, and and there's a steep learning curve because we're 2 generations into ignoring our government entirely. Like, we don't give a shit about these people. They're all corrupt. They're never going to help us. Fuck it, right? And we've all, at some point or another, and on some level or another, have believed that.
Sure.
Some of us our whole lives, right? And so now, people are kind of paying attention because,
because so many
we're afraid of what's
other
happening,
people,
right? So people that wouldn't ordinarily with a, like, if John McCain had won instead of the dumpster fire, we'd have all gone, oh fuck, and gone about our daily lives, and we wouldn't be calling, we wouldn't be writing letters, we wouldn't be anything, right? So there's got to be somebody smart somewhere going, hang on, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to overwhelm these motherfuckers.
And hopefully his name isn't Steve Bannon.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
No, it is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Because we'd have to call him smart.
No, well,
Crafty.
He's a
Listen,
right.
Deviant.
every
No.
Scooby-Doo villain was
Sure,
smart
that's true.
until
If it
Tell
weren't
those
for these
meddling
meddling
kids.
kids.
Yep.
right, and they want
You're
they
right.
want these meddling kids
The
to stop.
Webelos got
if-
involved
if
and
there's
shut them
so
down.
much going
Oh,
on
Webelos.
that you're overwhelmed and you're like, I
Right.
have to fight that. and I
Because
have to
going
fight
around the
that, and I
table
have to
like
fight that.
how
They're
news
able-
exhausted.
Right, and they're able to do this big thing over here.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
they're like,
Right.
you didn't find.
And
you
and
didn't
there's
see us
a
doing
lot of
Bait and switch.
that. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so there are, I think I've read 3 articles today that are suggesting that this whole like travel executive order, because I read the fucking thing, it's boring as hell, and it's written like a 3rd grader was trying to write legal information.
Legalese.
Yeah.
Ugh. And as it turns out,
were
I
like,
really
"Go
hate
play with the
writing,
typewriter,
reading
Donald."
legislation.
Government for dummies.
Yeah.
Go write that. Go write something, Donald.
Yeah.
Right. So it's, but
What is government?
since we're gonna talk
what
about this,
is
where's
government?
my page? Wait.
Well,
I hope it's on
So
your
there's a
Google
couple
Keep.
things.
Yeah.
It is in my Google Keep, as it turns out.
Look at
right here,
that.
very handy. So I read the whole thing, and I was really struck by two clauses. The first one is really like post 9/11. Like, I feel like if I'd ever read the Patriot Act, that this was probably plagiarized out of there, because it says, like, in the very top, the very like second paragraph of the executive order says, in order to protect Americans, the United States must ensure that those admitted to this country do not bear hostile attitudes toward it and its founding principles. The United States cannot and should not admit those who do not support the Constitution or those who would place violent ideologies over American law. In addition, the United States should not admit those who engage in acts of bigotry or hatred, parenthetically, including honor killings, other forms of violence against women, or the persecution of those who practice religions different from their own, end parentheses, or those who would oppress Americans of any race, gender, or sexual orientation. Right? Who can't get behind that?
Right. It sounds perfect.
Sounds 100% plausible. And actually, when you go read the thing, it doesn't sound
awful.
Too terribly awful. Right? You read the whole thing, it's all about putting a 90-day pause on people entering the country until we can work with their country of origin to get more information about people who are applying for visas. Like, that's most of the executive order. There was a little part that really, like, weirded me out about, of all things, biometrics.
Oh.
I know. Okay. Biometrics is this thing where something very physical and very unique about you is recorded.
Fingerprints, eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your fingerprint or a retinal scan or whatever else they've come up with. I don't really follow biometrics very closely because the whole thing kind of creeps me out.
Right.
Like, I'm really
Cut out an eyeball and.
Right, well, and I've seen a lot of those. I've seen a lot of those shows where they're chopping off thumbs and pulling out eyeballs to get into the
For
safe.
those of you who don't know what biometrics are, to simplify it, a lot of the phones, iPhone in particular, you can record your thumbprint, fingerprint, and it will then let you have access to the phone. That is a biometric technology. Continue on.
And so within this executive order, this part kind of creeped me out. It said, Section 7. Is the expedited completion of the biometric entry-exit tracking system. The Secretary of Homeland Security shall expedite the completion and implementation of a biometric entry-exit tracking system for all travelers to the United States, as recommended by the National Commission on Terrorist Attacks. And the Secretary of Homeland Security shall submit to the President periodic reports on the progress of the directive contained in subsection blah, 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 blah. Like, just the fact that, like, why sneak biometrics in there? What are we doing here?
That also doesn't that include face recognition, doesn't it?
I would assume
that technology. So. Because one of the things that this has been going on for years, that they keep using the technology of face recognition, like in places where hundreds of people, like the boardwalk in Santa Monica and all that kind of. They just have cameras and they continue to scan, and they're looking for faces in the crowd that are recognized and known to be. Murderers or
let me
convicts.
Tell you, I've seen lots of CSI. I've seen lots of NCIS. I've seen lots of Criminal Minds. Like, I get that that's probably already out there, but I'm like, wait a minute, what are we?
Right.
What are we really getting at, right? And while the protesting is awesome, and don't stop doing it. If you're showing up to them, keep showing up to them. Don't stop.
Yeah, I want to go to the DC one for Pride Weekend.
The Pride Weekend one.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can get away. We'll talk about that. Maybe we should go. Why not?
When is their Pride?
It's
No,
in June.
it's
in
the
June.
real Pride weekend. It's like June, the weekend of June 24th. They're doing because they're expecting there to be the next executive order is going to be against gays, so they're already planning the protest.
Yeah, although there
was something just
the
released.
hypotheticals that
Yeah.
I've been reading, and I think they released something tonight.
They did.
We'll look into that.
Federal workers.
Where was I going?
Oh, do they lose their spousal benefits?
No, they're able to keep them.
No,
He's going to keep them.
Stay intact. Everything
stay
that
intact.
Obama had put in
Yeah.
would stay intact with regards to that.
For now.
Right.
But,
no, absolutely.
Continue on. You were
because I think it's
facial,
another sleight of hand.
facial recognition biometrics. You were.
Well, in any event, so I eventually, like, I've been kind of watching, and I haven't been commenting on this particular executive order because I hadn't had the time to sit down and actually read it.
Sure.
Right? Because all I keep
You're
seeing...
busy doing other shit.
Well, I'm very busy making chicken soup. Very busy.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
These things are important.
Yeah.
People, you have to feed yourselves to. It's important. Step away from the Facebook. Make some chicken soup. But so I finally got to read it today, and I finished reading it like through the first time, and it's like legalese and it's jumbly, and it refers to shit that you can't see in Section A of blah 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 and code blah 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 of this statute, and you get kind of lost in that, right? But the first read through, I was like, wait a minute. It said nothing about Muslims, so I did the fancy search the webpage thing that you taught me. I did find Muslim not mentioned in there at all. All right. Now, there are a couple of things that are true. Number one, the dumpster fire promised to ban Muslims, and so that's a pretty good first step. So we can still call it a Muslim ban, I think, because because he called it a Muslim ban.
Right.
And he used the term ban.
Yep,
right.
he
Now,
did.
now we can call it that.
Even though Spicy said that he's only using the word ban because the media is using that fucking funny shit.
We need to get that little
I
clip.
do. I meant to do it
we need
tonight.
to clip that.
But he said, I liked how he told one of the ABC reporters, it may have been Katie Tur, that he's only using ban because the media is using ban.
Right.
But she's like, but they're his words.
Right.
Like,
That's right.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
This is what he promised. This is what he's implementing with presumably this intent. And then he went and confirmed it out loud on cameras. We're going to go ahead and say that
it's a ban.
as far
like a duck, smells like a duck.
Right.
whoever
good odds
whoever
it's a duck.
wrote it may not have written the executive ban or the executive order with that in mind, but the president's going to treat it like that.
Right.
The news is going to treat it like that. We're just going to go ahead and treat it like that. And then so I read the thing and I'm like, all right, well, not amazing, but I kind of see where somebody might get on board with this, right? It's very post 9/11. It's very, other people bad, Americans good.
Yeah.
Which I personally ideologically don't really believe in, but I get it.
Okay.
Right? And I know that there are people in the world that work jobs that I can't possibly understand that, lay awake at night trying to prevent terrible things from happening to Americans, and they probably think about these kind of things and maybe not this particular executive order, but this general branch of government exists and probably does things that I have no idea about, right? And I lost where I was going again.
Hang on, I'm just going to do this because you said it to me.
I'm spicy! That is all. That commercial is amazing. We need that clip at all times. Every time we say Spicy's name,
I'm spicy.
it needs to just be I'm spicy.
Fucking funny.
Fantastic.
When you sent that today, first thing I thought was, how the fuck does she remember all this shit's out there? Too funny.
Because of the brain. But then I wonder, then I read this thing and I go, okay, and this is what's been happening on my news feed, and this is what I've been seeing. What's actually happening? Like this is really kind of much ado about nothing, right? Because it's already incredibly hard to get a visa to the United States. They walked it back with green cards. Like some people were detained, but in the like really big picture, I'm like, wait, because I constantly feel like I'm being bait and switched,
right?
All the time, and I feel like we're still kind of falling for it. And I have some things and two things to that effect, but I feel like we're still kind of falling for it. Because we're on such a steep learning curve, I feel like we're not quite getting it yet. We have good intentions. We think we know what to do, but we're not quite there yet.
Well, and exactly what
Did you have a
said
good
from
breakfast
the
today?
beginning. I ate this morning.
What? Eat a good breakfast every day.
Yeah, no, you said it before, but I don't like breakfast.
I don't care. Eat something.
The fuck does that have to do with what I was saying?
Because it's going to be a really fucking long 4 years, and you need to.
I got lost.
I was so confused. I'm like, I have to remember that too?
It's
I
really
don't know.
impactful.
I don't know.
Yeah, really impactful.
But when they're from the get, it was just kind of like this dumpster,
Oh.
right? Just kind of came and went.
Yep.
And just dumped.
And in the beginning,
all
like
this
this
stuff.
first 100 days, this
Wow.
first probably year, it's going to feel like the world is falling apart
Right.
around us because it kind of is, and we don't know what to do, and we're not organized and ready to
And
figure it out.
But I think it's
And then,
a
'cause
little
there's
bit
no one
past that
standing
because
up, there's no one standing up for our democracy.
There's no beacon.
There's
yeah.
no one
Right.
standing up saying it's not what we
but
believe
when
in.
you-
Stop that. Like Paul Ryan caved completely today
Right.
on TV.
Oh,
Shocking.
totally. But when you
Did you
have
see the
all
Wikipedia
of-
thing?
when you have all of these things and people like all of a sudden are just scattering, right? And everyone's running from point A to point B to point C to point D, and nobody is we're all fighting for these same things, and everything is chaotic. That's when they go and implement things because no one has their head about them.
Yeah.
And so, will it be the first 100 days? I think it'll be a whole hell of a lot less than that.
Oh, I do too.
You know, where it's like this kind of this big, huge. A lot of big things are happening, but because there are so many of them
they
going
fired
on,
the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
right? Well, and get
Right.
rid of the Attorney General because she doesn't agree with me.
Well, and
she didn't play right in the sandbox.
But in their defense, that was an interim post set up by
She
Obama,
was acting.
and it was at his, and she does serve at the president's pleasure. So
Right.
he could put in his own interim person.
Mm-hmm.
That was that.
Right. He had asked her
She-
to stay on.
She was
Sure.
she was gonna go at any point during the continuum.
Right.
But she doesn't agree with me and doesn't play with the toys right in the sandbox, so she has to go now.
And now, if he gets rid of Jeff Sessions because of that, that would be different because
Okay.
that's a permanent position. But getting rid of the interim person and putting in your own interim person, not that. Yesterday, everybody got all outraged about that. It's not the actual AG. It's just.
I think it's the statement that they made about her that really bugs me because it
Yeah,
was
that was-
very...
there was something that they said about
Defiance?
she didn't listen. She would not
Hang on.
Yes.
perform.
I mean, if the word was defiant, you're right though, Kat. The way
It's
they
a
phrased it
statement.
was a little bit odd.
Again,
Right, and
but
that's
Spicy
that was
said
the
it
problem.
today.
as far as politics
Spicy is the
go,
most
Right.
punchable person in
Fuck
America.
yes, he is. A little
if
prick.
handled
Oh,
poorly, but
that reminds me of something
policy-wise, anyone would have done it.
Okay.
Spicy.
Anyone would have, because it's not a confirmed AG. Like that
Yeah.
really, that was one of those ones where like you're getting your pennies in a bunch over the wrong thing. He should have picked his own. He should have
Sure.
taken
Well,
a
and
minute.
he should have quietly dismissed her and put his own person in
Sure.
there before all this fucking
Right.
shit
Right.
happened.
He should have done it January 20th.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
He agreed to it. But again,
what I thought is that they kept her on for something like this, and then this is my just projecting.
Oh, no, yeah, a
but
little
they,
show, a little
they,
horse and
it's
pony,
a
a little
little,
dog and
it's a
pony
little
show.
dog and pony show because
I
it's
agree
like,
with that
see,
completely.
you don't agree with me, I'm gonna fucking get rid of you. Watch how powerful I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that, you're fucking
They
idiot.
wanna
is
make
like
what
an
you
he's
are.
example
sending
out of
some
him?
message to the Supreme Court. They're staying, buddy.
Exactly.
You don't get to
Right,
fire
right.
them.
Oh yeah, he doesn't get the RBG. He doesn't get to fuck with her. Oh no, she's not gonna. She's not gonna take that.
And in finishing just this thing with Rowling, because this was the one that I wanted to
We're
share.
still on
'cause
that
it was
story.
so funny.
There.
I'm gonna finish it because it came up on Monday. Yesterday, she
I
tweeted
admire your dedication.
a Winston Churchill quote after receiving a number of hateful messages. She said, "You have enemies? Good. It means you've stood up for something sometime in your life." Winston Churchill. And she got the trolling response from Frogulous Pepe, which is that fucking nasty. Anyway, quote, very fitting to @real Donald Trump. He stands up for something. Very, very good. And you are his enemy, Mrs. Shitty Writer. For fucking real. That's what it says.
Shitty writer.
But Rowling, Mrs. Shitty Writer to you.
Oh, thank you.
Um,
An
but-
honorific is important.
I know, but Rowling's not afraid of a duel. She hit right back. Sighs. Well, who knows? If I try harder, I might be reincarnated as a lonely virgin hiding behind a cartoon frog. And it was there that I was like, just drop the mic and walk away. Good for her.
That's a
But
lonely
all
frog.
of that. That's what's hiding behind those things, though. These people that are just like angry and nasty and ugh. So I'm have to follow J.K. Rowling now because she's
I did
she's
it
just
too.
brilliant.
Because
Yeah.
I read 2 of them and I was like, we're in.
Yeah.
Because Stephen King, Stephen
Okay.
King can basically do no wrong in my
Sure,
world. And
sure.
because of his writings and his just kind of the general sense of how you think he must feel because the characters he writes. I was always so afraid he was going to turn out to be like a fucking Republican.
Sure.
Oh, well,
Not even a little bit.
And he may be, but God, does he spend a lot of time bitching about the dumpster fire?
No,
and
I don't believe he is.
Very witty about it.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Stephen King. So it is my great pleasure to follow Stephen King and read his business.
His business.
There was a.
Because I said, we blow.
Woo!
There was
I
a.
almost want to add that to the list. Read his business.
There was a quote. Speaking of.
I read his business.
Speaking of spicy, there was a quote today. I mentioned this to Marnie earlier when I was at her house. I'm trying to find out if he actually said it, but I'm not willing to rewatch the press conference today to find out. The quote was put on Facebook, and I was tagged in it. This is because I was making comments about spicy. His quote was, "The president has been very clear about being unclear."
Yes.
Huh? I just thought that was fantastic because he's that fucking stupid. He's been very clear about being unclear. Well, he is very unclear.
That's your audience.
Right.
He's working it well.
You're playing to your. Well, he's clear about being unclear. You know you're going to sit at a dinner party and hear someone say that to you.
Yeah.
Well, he's clear about being unclear. And they'll have that look on their face like they just told you Santa was white. And you're going to be like,
Santa just is white.
I'm going to have to just put a fork in your eye.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling we might have to, at some point, we might not be able to use the Santa just is white anymore because if she's crossing over to NBC, and if we decide we like her because she doesn't have the assholes of Roger Ailes and everybody at Fox behind her,
the puppeteer's hands are out of
we
her
might
ass.
have to take that. If we decide we like her, I'm going to quit using that.
But she,
I feel like she has
some-
to own it.
because wasn't she Fox and Friends?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that her, Contessa?
Well, she started.
Well, they've
was
had
on her
interchangeable
own.
I don't think
blondes
she-
up there. She had the Kelly file.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kelly
but I don't know
Files.
that she was ever on Fox and Friends.
I feel like she was
She
the
might have-
start of Fox and
Maybe
Friends.
she started there and then migrated over because Hasselbeck came in.
Yeah, and I feel like she took
And
over
Gretchen was with Fox and Friends.
Oh, maybe that's the
Gretchen
cunt I'm thinking
Carlson?
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's awful.
Not
Gretchen
related.
Carlson.
Not related.
No.
I can't
Gretchen
recall it.
Carlson is
Another
the one
blonde,
who
I'm sure.
sued
Oh, yeah,
and
they're all
got rid
blonde.
of Roger Ailes.
Yeah.
You can't sit in between those two idiots and
No,
not
no,
be
no.
blonde.
Carlson's the one that got rid of Roger Ailes. It was because
Right.
of
But I think she was one of the blondes
Oh,
that
she
sat between the
absolutely
two.
was. Yeah.
Oh.
You know the word I was trying to use, but I.
Yeah. Thank you. You're very kind.
We blow, but we don't fall down.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Are you looking for that quote, or what are you looking for?
Oh, I looked for it and I couldn't find
I don't know if it's a legitimate quote or not, but apparently something to that effect is what he said in a news conference. I'm like, wow.
I couldn't find anything on it.
We'll get back to. We got like.
Yeah, and I had a
stories.
friend yesterday who put a picture of like, this is JFK while they're holding Muslims, and this is the protest at JFK while Christians were being slaughtered in foreign countries. I'm like, well, why would you protest that at JFK? Like, why would
That's a weird place to protest.
what's the apples to apples on that one? Like, there's actual people being detained in JFK. That's where you
literally
go to bring
at
the
the
lawyer.
airport in handcuffs in a back room
right.
somewhere.
So your other one does it, and I was just like, you know what? Stop making excuses for the dumpster fire.
Somebody else made a comment today. Again, Twitter has just
We
been
rely on Matt Morozka's family. Isn't it terrible that all of us have been reduced to like just reading Matt Morozka's family's horrible comments because everybody else has deleted.
They're a lot of fun though.
Somebody else on the Twitter today was talking about Spicy, and they illustrated the fact by his own tweets that remember he came out and basically said that everybody. And again, I'm going to paraphrase. When this all happened, he basically told everybody that was being detained to just calm down. Mm-hmm. And like just to take it easy or whatever. They posted multiple tweets because he apparently goes to every fucking airport and bitches about every fucking thing. Anytime he has to, he's delayed for something, a security line is long, something about a flight time. He bitches continually about how being in an airport or being stuck in an airport is a horrible thing. Yet he just wants everybody else that's being detained just to calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
I thought it was also funny, that little dumbass. And it just cracks me up that. They
and
don't.
The fact that you could hate somebody more than Kellyanne Conway in 8 days is
right.
a miracle.
Well, because we haven't seen her as much.
No. But just the fact that she's been working at getting us to call her a cunt for like 500 days.
Yeah.
This fucker comes in 8 days, and I already am like,
yep.
Maybe there will be a day, and I will love it. The day that maybe Spicy's sick, and they make Kellyanne fill in and do the press. Oh, that would be fan.
See, there's speculation that she wants that job, and so she's throwing him under the bus as much as possible.
Can you imagine?
That's true.
Can you imagine her doing
Oh,
that?
and how we didn't talk. Well, we didn't
It's
talk about
like
last
an
week.
episode out of the Tales from the Crypt.
You can't even
Yeah.
write. You couldn't write this
Oh,
stuff. You
I
just,
know what we
That
would
show's
do.
already been written. Like
Yeah.
she's just sitting up there with her skull and her bad hair.
And because
Yeah.
I didn't realize I'd missed 2 SNLs, I thought I only missed 1, and the one was horrible. The one with January Jones.
no, we talked
was
about that last week.
Abominable.
Yeah.
But the one with Aziz Ansari.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How do you say
His
his name?
monologue was fantastic.
No, but
Aziz
that whole
Ansari.
what?
I'm sorry. Aziz
Yeah.
Ansari.
Yeah.
That whole show.
It was
all
good. I
90
watched it
minutes,
too.
Rock
That's the one with the
solid.
Conway number in it, right?
Oh my God.
Yes.
But her as Roxy Hart.
Yes.
It's going over like gangbusters at the bar. Let me
Fantastic.
tell you
It's,
how
it's
how
brilliant
funny that
because you
is,
can't watch it enough.
Oh,
She's
no. It's spot on. Yeah, I would like to have been in the meeting when somebody's like, "I have an idea. Do you think this would work?" And they float out, and everybody's like, because she was like, "Oh my God, that's fabulous."
I mean, and the shot for shot like
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's so
parody of the
good.
number, and you could just see like mixing it in with Roxy Hart. Like if somebody had the
Well-
editing capabilities, it would be really good.
In fairness,
Really, really good.
depending on how they would have spun it, they actually could have also used Clinton. She could have also done the same Roxy Hart thing, but done Clinton instead of Conway.
Oh, I know, but it was just.
Oh, no, it is. It's
just the-
fantastic.
because Roxy Hart is slimy.
Oh, no. I understand.
He wants to be famous.
That's
I mean,
not lost
Whatever
on
it
me.
takes, yeah.
But SNL likes Clinton too much to say something
Right.
that's shitty about. You know what I mean? Like you got to have a slime to you.
Gonna be Conway. God damn it. But that's showbiz.
Whole bunch of them.
I did enjoy it. All right, we got a couple more stories to get through, and then that's going to be entertainment with Al.
And then we blow. You know what I mean?
An Arizona, a little
This
closer
wine
to
is
home.
delicious. I need more excuses to drink it fast.
An Arizona woman got quite a surprise when she tried to change the battery in a hallway smoke detector
Sorry, honey.
at her Scottsdale home a few nights ago. The device she found was covered with honey, and I will show you a picture of said smoke detector.
Oh.
She says, I'm like, huh? How the hell does honey get there?
Oh, my
Kelsey
God.
Hughes said, oh no.
Holy
So
shit.
many bees.
Then she's like, well, if it traveled this far, where did it come from and how many bees are in the attic? Hughes decided to do some investigating, so she climbed into the attic herself, took some pictures, and looked around. What she found was a lot of honey, long rows of it running down the beams in the attic. But apparently there were 5 to 6 pounds of honey in the ceiling, she said. That equates to about 60 to 70,000 bees that would have been in the active hive. It's terrifying, she says, to even comprehend
Oh my
those kind of
God.
bees. Upon closer inspection,
Holy shit.
Hughes
They're not in this house, Al.
she
It's
also
okay.
found dozens of dead bees, an indication that the hive is no longer active. Apparently, what had happened is the previous homeowner hired an exterminator to kill the bees before the house was sold, but they never removed the hive. The concerned mom is relieved that her family is not in any danger, but disappointed to find that the beehive was not removed. She says, as a mother of somebody that has seen Africanized bee incidents in Arizona, I'm happy we don't have to deal with the hive being an active hive. She estimates the cost will be thousands of dollars to tear out the drywall, the ceiling, and to clean up all the honey in the house. Wow.
Yeah, hi, roaches.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you would think that that would just be.
So
At
many
least the
things
bees
in
are
that
gone.
story.
But that happens.
No, absolutely. but
I have
you'd
bees
think
in the
like,
chimney right now that are.
Oh, look it. He's getting a
But-
bee leaving.
They're in
Is that a Nicki Minaj song?
I
but
got
they're just-
bees in my chimney.
we
Bees in
blow.
the trap. Bees in the trap.
Yeah, but they're active.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're very busy.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
I let 'em go.
I let that. I have,
Active.
We
yeah.
need bee. In fact,
That's making the list.
They
Bees in my
golf,
chimney.
they horseback ride,
I
they
don't-
play tennis.
I don't know
they're
what
very
it would
active.
cost, but I think it would be kind of neat to even have a hive in the backyard that were active bees because you can get honey. Because I just figured out, Jesus Christ, honey is expensive at the
Very
store.
expensive.
Well, there are encouragements for this because
Of
of
the
the
bee
death of the
Yeah.
bee population. That in especially in New York City, they're really pushing for people to have
Hives on the roof.
hives on the roof, and they're trying to
Oh.
encourage people to like stop calling exterminators, make sure that the bees aren't dangerous, and go through the process
To move.
of having the hive stay in your yard.
Oh,
And my favorite thing of all, because I hate people, is
that's a
people that
segue.
plant
That's a true
flowers
statement for
everywhere,
him.
and then
Oh.
they're like, I hate bees. Then why
Then
the
why would
fuck
you put
did you plant
flowers?
flowers?
Right.
Right.
And it's a conversation I've had with people over and over again.
Neighbor across the street calls me the other day. She's like, do you know any good exterminators? I'm like, well, why? She goes, well, I have a bee problem in my backyard. They're apparently, she has a hot tub, and they're getting in, like where the cover goes, they're getting in through the little side.
And that's where
because
you don't want them.
They're looking for water. But to add to this, I didn't realize the irony is her name is Bee.
Yeah. Oh.
She has bees everywhere, like little stuffed animals and little things. Her license plate says bee. The whole thing. She's deathly allergic to them. She has a citrus tree in her backyard. Guess what? They're all over that fucking tree.
Yeah, because of the blooms.
And I just think it's the irony just is so.
And that's one of those things. Then don't bring things.
Right.
Don't put the milkshake out there. Brings all the bees to the yard.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
want to
mean?
get rid of that fucking
That's for
tree.
you.
But I didn't realize.
She's not even listening. I make the worst pun in 20 years.
Yeah, that's
That one
because I
was
just
really
read
bad.
something about Jerry Falwell. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, he sucked a dick.
Why?
He's a weeblo.
Is he a
No,
Weeblo?
Jerry Falwell Jr. was
Yeah.
asked to lead Trump Education Task Force.
Yeah.
That feels
Feels
appropriate.
right.
Sure.
Yeah. That feels like, yep.
I'm legitimately willing to believe anything.
Spot on.
You know what I said to a
but
friend of
that's
mine
why-
today?
That's why I didn't hear a goddamn thing you just said.
And one of the, if I could just
Just go ahead.
We
get
blow on
behind
my
your
thing.
bee one
You
more
may-
time, I can just stand gently
You're
behind
working
your
too hard.
bee.
You're working too hard for it. It's not making the list.
Nice hair. You have nice hair.
So if you go over and get honey from bee, if you go over there and get honey out of a hive from her backyard, it will help. Allegedly. Now, I don't always buy this, but I've heard it enough times now that I think it's worth investigating. But if you get bee from her, honey from her yard, it will help with your any kind of allergies to local pollens and stuff.
And I believe that
Yeah.
because it's a very homeopathic version of the injections that people get to help alleviate their allergies.
Yeah.
So one of my kids actually does that. We go, we're up to once a month now. Because they do like a little injection of whatever the fuck you're allergic to. They give it to you.
Yeah, and they increase your. It's a
Right.
sensitivity.
It's a
thing.
tolerance thing, right?
Sure.
And they do it, and you have to start it young though. The thing with the injections that it has to start really young. But if you have seasonal allergies or flowers, allegedly ingesting the honey of what's growing
'Cause it's
around
local.
you, it's local.
But it has to be kind of like the injections. It has to be long term. Like you have to do it over a long period of time. You have to literally put honey in something every day.
Every day, yeah.
But it has to be. Here's a couple of things. It has to be local, organic honey. It can't be processed or pasteurized.
Right.
It can't be out of the bear at the store. As cute as he is, I love him very much. But
Oh,
it can't be
no.
that
It
honey.
has to be from a local vendor, and you want them
raw,
to be as close to the plants that
natural
you're sneezing
honey.
at. Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't
But that's
this-
why you would go across the hall and scrape the stuff off her wall.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, we blow.
Wow.
There you have it.
No, but it goes along.
I got to get in the hot
They
tub
call
and just
that-
blow bubbles.
They
'cause
call
I
that
need
a
some of that.
B&C.
But it goes along. It goes along with the same thing that you've talked about before with regards to local food.
Yeah.
If you eat food like beef that's raised locally and it eats and breathes all the same air and it eats the grass, the local. Like
And even
all-
better if they're taking the same antibiotics
all
for the
those
clap.
things.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you're eating from your local, you're
Yeah.
going to be immune to
It helps.
adverse
it does,
things
it
locally.
does help with immunity. And like I said, that's one of those things that I've never read anything that said it was tested and proven, but so many people believe it, and you hear about people that go to the farmer's market and get the honey, and they actually ask, like, are you from this part of town? Are you from that part of town? And you hear about it quite a lot. And yes, and like in Aaron's case, where you're doing something with immune suppressants because of he's trying to avoid organ rejection, you absolutely want to stay away from fresh cut flower. You want to stay away from fresh flowers. You want to stay away from anything that could be turned into an airborne or something raw that's not pasteurized. You want the bacteria killed in those circumstances. So you gotta pick and choose your battles.
You're a pretty small demographic though, there, Aaron. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is one of those things.
Fortunately, you are.
It's like I work in an ICU, and there's all kinds of stuff that can't pass the threshold of that ICU because we don't need that in there.
Sure.
Oh, of course not. Maren, do you have one more?
I do. Well, I mean, since
Literally
we're
is
all
bubble
gay
gum.
and it's a gay podcast, we should
Allegedly.
do something about the gays.
Well, we blow. Isn't that enough?
Sorry.
Next caller.
I'm going to use this.
I'm all about the
have,
B and
but
C.
to diminishing returns.
Wow.
I didn't think I'd be able to work that into a conversation within 24 hours of
Diminishing
hearing
returns.
But you did.
it. But I did.
But you did.
Do you want to contribute to gay rights? I already did. And to diminishing returns.
Sounds like Karen Walker. That's
because I said it. But the original text didn't read like her.
Trunk.
Or treat.
Ugh. Trump continues Obama order protecting LGBTQ federal workers, as we had brought up earlier. An executive order protecting federal employees from anti-LGBTQ discrimination that was first signed by Obama in 2014 will continue under Trump. He said that he's determined to protect the rights of all Americans, including the LGBTQ community. That's what the White House said in a statement, at which point I thought, that's a bunch of fucking happy.
You know
horseshit.
why? There's no money in it. There's no money to be made by stomping on the
Pissing
gays.
on the
That's
gays.
just a bad PR move. There's no money in it. Yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't put past him. Anyway, the order extended protections that had been signed in 2014 against discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, and was predicated on previous executive orders under Nixon and Clinton that created additional protected classes, but had not included LGBTQ community. And this should just tell us right here, guys, completely tell us, the log cabin Republicans praised the decision
Fuck
Tuesday,
those people. I hate
calling
those
Trump
people.
a real friend. They blow. I mean, we blow. I mean, for fucking
Log
real.
cabin Republicans, suck my dick.
Calling Trump a real friend. Sure he is.
Thank you for being a friend.
Do not.
Don't, no.
Do not
associate.
sully 3 out of 4 dead women's memory.
Donald Trump campaigned promising to be, quote, a real friend to the LGBT community. And now President Trump is delivering on that commitment.
Nobody
Does
gets.
it weirdly feel like they
president
made a
of
list of
the-
all of the stupid shit he said at campaign and they're just checking them off?
Right. Oh, I absolutely agree.
I
with
hope
that.
at some point he actually said publicly, "Nobody gets behind the gays like I do."
I do.
I hope there is.
I'm pretty sure that was.
Oh my
that was
God,
Alec
that's
Baldwin.
fantastic. Fantastic.
And you know what happens? He walks into a bar and he picks out guys like this. He's like, you, you. Like you.
Gina.
That's how you say it. Gina.
Gina.
That's how
Later,
it's pronounced.
the HRC, and I don't mean Hillary, later Tuesday, had said, he's done nothing to undermine equality since he set foot in the White House. So we're going to just kind of wait. We're waiting to see what this looks like. And, the HRC, just like Kat was saying earlier, and we all mentioned just kind of like, well, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
We'll see how much he's can continue that. So we call on Donald Trump to reject any and all attempts to give license to discriminate. HRC said. So when Donald Trump attacks one of us, he's going to hear from all of us. So
Yes.
hopefully that is the case. Hopefully that's the case. So
And I do have to say in his defense, and not to quote
just-
the log cabin Republicans that I really hate more than just about anybody.
Hate.
And hate's the right word for this one. That he really did, until the Pence thing, the one group that he kind of just stayed away from
Was the most.
was the most. Like, he really... That was the only time he tread carefully through the Bible Belt. I mean, he did stick in all the states that we thought he shouldn't campaign in, like Michigan.
Stuck it in.
But he did campaign a lot in Michigan and Pennsylvania that had more progressive laws. So it seemed like a place to maybe leave that topic alone, like, But because he didn't campaign where we thought he would campaign,
right.
You know what I mean? We thought he would stick to red states, but he really did effectively go into Pennsylvania and Michigan a lot. And I think maybe it just never played to the right narrative. I don't know.
And that's a
And
really good
until
point because
Pence-
he's like really playing to his audience all the time.
Yeah, and that one just never made it there. He did campaigns in New York a lot too, and it's definitely not going to play there because that was passed by a largely Republican. Somehow New York State has a largely Republican state.
Because
Right,
personal freedom is a Republican fucking thing.
Yeah.
First of all, like personal freedom, stay out of my business, stay out of my house, stay out of my bedroom, stay out of my gun locker. Like those are all really Republican things. Gay rights should be a Republican thing. Abortion should be a Republican
Yeah,
thing.
but they also have the
Jesus.
the Jesus on the side, and that's
And Jesus had so much to say about gays. I mean, you got to read up on it.
he really did. I
It's
think
like
it was
almost one word.
in.
He protested at every march. Protested at every parade.
Well, he hung out with them.
Yeah.
Then literally.
I like the parades. I hope we get invited back to
Oh,
the parades. I'm gonna make
jeez.
it.
We are.
I'm gonna make it so. Oh, we are.
Oh, yeah, I already confirmed
Okay.
that.
Good.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, I just thought that
Self-serving.
was understood. I did. My bad.
Oh, I thought
No,
so
yeah,
too,
no.
but you never know.
That was
what
that
happened?
was the reason for the phone call, but I slipped it into the conversation to make sure that we were on board. Since I got screwed out of the HRC thing this year.
Fuckers.
Fuckers, indeed.
Carry on.
God damn, is this like what I had for breakfast? I'm so confused again.
Side conversation.
By the
bad.
way, you didn't answer. What did you have for breakfast? I had pancakes and eggs. What'd you
How about a
have?
big cup of shut the fuck up, cat? How about that?
If I haven't drank that by now, I'm not gonna, Clayton
Well,
McKee.
a fucking man. Ah, thanks.
You've been trying to feed that to me for 2 years now. I'm not drinking it.
Seriously.
What'd you have for breakfast?
God, I
What
don't
was the
know.
first breakfast? Literally means
Just
stop.
answer the question, Claire.
No.
What?
Breakfast literally means breaking of a fast. So what was the first meal you ate today?
Good call. Good call. It doesn't have to be in the morning.
Pistachios.
Okay, that
That's
was your
legit.
breakfast. That's all you had to say. That's all it is.
Nuts. I'm into it.
She had nuts for breakfast.
I had sushi for breakfast.
See? Yeah, but you didn't wake up till 5 o'clock.
No,
That's okay.
I got up at 1, and by the time I got done, like, looking at travel logs and blogs and reviews, it was like,
Nuts.
I'm going to go get some
No wrong answer.
sushi.
I had
thought
my
to say, like,
I made an
cereal.
oatmeal smoothie. That's why all
No,
that
I
shit
don't, I
sitting
don't
on
give
the.
a shit what you ate for breakfast. Did you have a good breakfast?
Because I wouldn't consider that
Did it
thing
work
like
for you?
breakfast. I don't know, but yeah.
However, I do want to go to the greasy rail or whatever the fuck it's
Oh,
called
yeah,
and
the
have
old
that.
brass
Sound,
rail.
that sounds
Ye
like
Maybe
old
we should all
brass
meet
rail.
there on Sunday.
that sounds like a good deal.
Road trip.
It's just
Well, for
fucking
you.
Home Depot. It's not far.
I'm
Make
like,
it.
it's around the corner from me.
36th
Well, if
and
we
Thomas.
if we do it next Saturday morning, then
38th.
we can go from the brass rail. We can go dive bar to dive bar. We can go to brass rail for breakfast, and then Coach House for Parada del Sol next Saturday.
Very good.
We can Uber our way.
Why would we go to Prada del Sol?
Why
It's
are we
an
doing
annual
that on
thing
Saturday?
because the Prada del Sol is on
Because you
Saturday.
go to it.
But
Yeah.
you said Sunday morning.
No,
No, I can't. I'm not getting up on a Sunday morning.
Fuck
I'm
no.
not, if I'm not working Saturday night, but
Oh,
I
that's
work
why I
Friday
thought you
night.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
because
So
I'm going to try this
confused.
year to go to Parada del Sol, I've been strangely neglecting the Parada del Sol. And if you don't know, for those from other parts of the country or world, it is the largest horse parade in the world. It has been a Scottsdale tradition for many, many years.
One of my favorite Webelos memories
Yes.
of that is that Tinseltown was open at the during one of the parades, and during that one year, and as we were standing there handing out refreshments of a non-adult nature, who was the one person who apparently had to go to the bathroom, and asked if he could use our restroom, and I
John
escorted
McCain.
him. Nope.
Elvis.
Arpaio.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up.
So the fact
You
that
touched his
Arpaio,
penis?
No, I didn't.
She didn't hold it for him. The little sheriff,
The little sheriff that could.
the deputy.
I shot the sheriff.
But I did not hold his deputy. I did not hold his deputy. Hell
I don't
no.
even know what this
wait.
show's about.
So you trotted Arpaio into
Yeah,
a gay bar to
I
take
did.
a squirt,
Totally I did.
Take
Yep.
a squirt,
Yep.
pop a squat.
Yep.
A lot of things happen.
drain the lily.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It was fantastic.
So many things.
I thought that
Lily
was
Drainer.
great. Come on in, Joe.
Trying too hard, trying too
That's
hard.
a good drag name. What's your name? Lily,
Lily
Drainer.
It works better as a
Alright.
drag name. I'll allow that, but yeah.
That's a whole other list. I can start that one if you like.
That's good stuff.
Lily Holder.
Yeah.
So
What is this show about?
Anyways,
Who knows? Who knows?
because of my 9 years at the Taco Bell at Scottsdale and Thomas, the parade was a big part of
Sure.
February, and we would always have to deal with that because we would have a huge day, so we had to overstaff for that Saturday.
Because when the parade was done, they just drive the horses to the Taco Bell and just finish them off
Listen,
and make lunch.
Yeah. Delicious ground beef.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Fresher than usual. So,
Got your tostada,
so
the side
Right
of glue.
here.
without realizing that there was like more fun parts of this, to me it was just a horrible day of scheduling because we were like so crazy busy with foot traffic. That when I started working at BS West and I realized that everybody from BS West went over to Coach House, no one ever saw the parade. I've never seen this parade.
Sure.
Oh.
And the Coach House is pretty much on Indian School at the exact same spot where Taco Bell is on Thomas. So I've been about 100 feet from that parade about 50 times. Never saw it.
Got it. Well, you were
Never
busy.
saw one horse.
Sure.
But so it's funny. So when I
I'd
got
like to
there,
challenge your math.
yeah, probably like 20 times all told. I was pretty
I
close
like
to
it.
there. But so it just became a fun thing to do, was to go there for the AM. And back when when I worked at the B and the S, that was a big thing, was that morning at Coach House. And that was the days that no one cared. You just drove there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and you stayed at somebody's house that lived nearby, and you showed up. And Coach House has the pretty Christmas lights. If you go in, I mean, it's one of the fun dive bars of the Phoenix Metropolitan. It's Scottsdale proper, but it's a fun dive bar. And it's always a fun day because, 8 a.m. in the morning in February, it's always a sunny,
Beautiful.
sunny 65-degree day, little crisp. Everybody's
Sounds
trashed.
lovely.
You go somewhere for dinner right there along Scottsdale Road. You go to BS West for a couple drinks, and then somehow you get home. No one's ever sure how.
But you made it.
It's a beautiful time of the year to come here, too, in February for that.
Yeah.
Just don't stay in Scottsdale because the rooms are $1 billion.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I really need to clean out my spare room and Airbnb that shit.
Honestly, it's a good idea, and that's one of those weekends to do it. That and the
The Open's happening this weekend.
yeah,
too.
the open weekend.
Are we done beating
we
that
in a
one? I
story?
got
What
one
happened? I don't know what
final.
we're doing.
I have one final, and then we're on to
Bring it on.
infotainment with Alfie here. We'll have this final story. A family in Haley, Idaho, came across a female moose in their basement this past Sunday morning. I'm going to show you a picture of the moose in the basement right there.
Oh.
Apparently came through, smelled muffins that were in the basement,
Muffin smeller.
pushed open a window, didn't break the glass, and then came through a 3-foot deep window well.
Oh.
Gentle giant.
Gentle giant. The moose pushed her way through. Said amazingly enough, the window didn't break. Officers from the Blaine County Sheriff's Office, the Haley Police Department, and Bellevue Marshal's Office, and the Idaho Department of Game and Fish, every fucking person in the world was there, responded to the call. Initial attempts to herd the animal up the steps were abandoned. The Fish and Game website said after she charged the officer several times, they're like, well, fuck this. So they knocked her out. She fell asleep on the
They roofied
floor
her.
against a wall, against what apparently was a Bob Marley wall tapestry that you can't see in this picture.
Sad.
Once she fell asleep, officers brought in like a
Sling.
kind of a sling, and
From the upstairs bedroom.
they put her in it and then carried her outside. She woke up groggy and confused and then went on her way. But I thought that was funny. Remarkably, a cow elk pulled the same move in the same region of Idaho back in 2015. So apparently there's a family of them.
Just so that you know, I mean, that ties to right now as well, because according to Betsy DeVos, we
it's
have
grizzly bears,
It
moose.
is.
You
Oh,
don't
so
know
they have to
what's
have
going to
guns.
break. Yeah, we don't know what's
That's
going
why
to break into
everybody
your,
should have a
your
gun.
grade
That's why you
school.
have
You
to have a
don't
gun.
know. I mean, according to the good man from Wyoming.
But wouldn't you just walk downstairs with your cup of coffee to your Bob Marley post and be like, am I in a Far Side cartoon? Because this feels like a setup for a Far Side cartoon, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'd walk downstairs and think it was Bullwinkle.
My absolute favorite is
Hey, Rocky, look at here.
there's a lady of a Far Side cartoon on the phone, and in her window is a giant eyeball, and the caption says, "Madge, do me a favor, look out the window at my house and tell me what you see."
That's funny.
To enjoy the first
Always
side.
made me laugh.
Based on what I'm seeing, it's not going to be good. I'm telling you that much.
Well, the view I got says no bueno.
No, ma'am.
You're not getting anything good.
No, ma'am. All right, here we go with Alfie.
Only a couple of things. We have the Screen Actors Guild Awards that came out, the Producers Guild Awards. We have just a big death that was on our death den just to keep her alive for a long, long time. But she finally went into that good night. And and then a TV show that we what?
We had Valerie Harper on her death then.
No, remember we put Mary Tyler Moore
we
on
had
there
Mary
too to
Tyler
keep her
Moore.
alive.
Oh, I didn't remember. Sorry.
Just to keep her alive because we thought Rhoda was toast.
Oh, God.
It could have gone either way.
The Morgensterns, we thought it
Flip it,
passed, but not.
Yeah.
No.
My bad.
So, yeah, outlives her.
Yeah.
So we'll start with that, and please find some version of that song that you can delete later when YouTube fucks us. We do not have any copyright and do not pretend to own anything from MTM Enterprises. There, that might help. Yeah. maybe that'll keep them from fucking us. But and not one of the young and needlessly like 2016 was doing. This was a woman with a very full life.
Oh yeah.
You know,
And a medical
marriages,
history
a medical
and-
history, well managed. I mean, if you make it to 80 with diabetes, you're doing okay.
I feel good about it.
Yeah. A big crusader for juvenile diabetes and testified in front of Congress, did the whole shebang, really kept awareness up on that. Because I always say, just make sure somebody's... This is the first season one.
This is the first season?
Yeah.
Did it get better?
It changed, yeah.
It changes.
You might make it after all goes to you. You're going to make it after all.
We're gonna
They
get named for
renewed
this
the show,
probably.
and so she was going to make it.
Just make it after all. Da, 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 da.
That's the part that I have choreography all worked out. So
Shocking that you do.
Startling.
Just a fun career, and one of the things that I learned from my 9 million tributes and we're talking about Mary Taylor Moore.
Yeah.
Just because we never said her name.
Right.
One of the fun things was she was raised in Brooklyn, but she was raised by English professors.
Yes, that was an interesting
didn't
thing.
And that
know
is why
that.
she
I
didn't have
see
a
it.
Brooklyn accent, because her family insisted she speak
Properly. I thought that was a great story.
And
How
so
interesting.
but she could do it. She could throw herself into that Brooklyn accent,
Right.
and it was what?
So
Yeah.
she could have been Rhoda Morgenstern.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Wow. I
So
didn't know
just
that.
a fun career. Became a dancer, got into dancing, and was the dancing hot point,
The flame.
appliances.
Flame.
She was
Yeah.
the flame.
Whatever that was, yeah.
And danced
That was
around, and then
funny.
she was on a TV show that I never remember the name of, the private detective show, where she was the person answering the phone. She was the Susie Diamond, I think it was her character's name, and they never showed her. They only showed her legs. So that was the big
just her
scandal.
voice?
That was just her voice, and they showed her legs because she had fantastic
she
legs.
really did. Yeah.
I also you glossed over a little bit. The reason she got into dancing was to escape the horrible home life she had.
Oh yeah, mother was an alcoholic, and
Was it stepfather or something was abusive? Something else was going on?
It was, and it turns out as we're reading about Joan Crawford, because of the feud that's coming out, very similar upbringing to Joan Crawford, except for Joan Crawford was from San Antonio, Texas, and took speech lessons to get rid of that. And I guess when she was drunk, she would go back into her Texas twang.
Oh.
So it was just similar to read that they both became dancers to like kind of escape, and both went to, well, you didn't have to go that far. You're already in New York, but she just...
Sure.
So did the Dick Van Dyke Show with no experience. They just liked her at the get-go.
And what a great pair.
And she said she just wasn't a funny person. She never saw herself as a funny person.
But her timing was perfect.
Right,
She was so
absolutely.
good at that.
But she was good at it, and she learned from the master. She said she went to the Master School of Comedy with the people that were on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Well, and her facial expressions and timing. I mean, she really was.
And as it turns out, it wasn't just me that dreamed of being the single girl on the go. Right. It was like half of the world, and almost every person in broadcasting right now of a certain age attributes her to being in the newsroom.
Yeah.
And the fact that she did the Dick Van Dyke Show, and then when she went to get her own show, that they fought to make her, because she was supposed to be divorced.
Right.
Right.
CBS
Initially,
and she was herself approaching 40. Now I can't think if that's true. She was born in what year?
36.
36. So she was 34 years old when the Mary Tyler Moore show started,
Playing
and
30.
they made a big deal about her being 30. So she
Okay.
was supposed to be her own age and divorced.
Okay.
And they made her lower the age and
be engaged
and
or
be
had
a
been
broken
engaged or
engagement.
something.
Yeah, so that she hadn't divorced Dick Van Dyke. And it just what turned into one of the best shows on TV, and just a wonderful woman. And then she, in 1980, in one of my favorite years for Best Actress, she was nominated. She lost, but she was nominated for Ordinary People.
Oh,
I was hoping to find out, but the TCM page hasn't been loading since we've been here. But 30 Days of Oscar, just find Ordinary People. and watch.
And we've said that for a long
movie.
time.
I wish that
from the get.
I've not seen that movie. I know that's a shock, but I want to. But what I didn't know was last Sunday at 2 local theaters, they played it at noon because Buddy and I ran into Buddy and he wanted to go see it, but he woke up too late. Like at 12:15, they showed it last weekend in the theater. I'm like, well, hell, I would have gone to that.
I would have loved to have seen that. And it really is one of the best movies ever made in one of the best years for a movie because it's against Raging Bull. That's right. It's just and the list of Best Actress nominees that year, which is Coal Miner's Daughter. It's
Sissy Spacek.
Ellen Burstyn for Resurrection, which is you'll never find that movie. If you do find it on cable, do not hesitate to watch it. Goldie Hawn and Private Benjamin. I mean, it's just fantastic movie after fantastic movie nominated that year, and for Best Actress. And she is incredible in a role that you're just not expecting out of Mary Tyler Moore, and just. It's so dark, and it's one of those things wherever you saw those families that always look so good on paper, but then
pull the curtain back.
Son's gay, the girl's anorexic, dad's cheating with the secretary. Like it just pulls the curtain back, and you find out and there's a scene where she just beats up a piece of French toast. That Doug still states is his favorite scene in that movie because it's so powerful, and just a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I think, if I'm not, I could be mistaken on this. I didn't research it thoroughly, but I think Mary Tyler Moore had a little resurgence in the early '90s because Nick at Night got the rights to it. After it playing all over the place. Like on a personal note, I watched the Mary Tyler Moore show when it was really on, and then caught the earlier ones that I didn't remember because it was playing simultaneously in syndication already. Okay. So I saw the last 3 years that I remember, and the first 4 years in syndication that I may have been watching them, but I don't really remember. Right. So it was just that show was just a part of my growing up. Like we watched it every Saturday. We piled with the Carol Burnett show and Bob Newhart and Love American Style and all the Odd Couple. They were all on the same night. You just sat down and watched it because that's funny as shit.
Bob Newhart said that was called Murderer's Row because with all of the shows that were on that night, because you had Carol Burnett, you had Newhart, you had Mary Tyler Moore. There was
the Odd Couple.
There was something else, but he that's what he called it. For some reason, they called it Murderer's Row.
And
on Thursday night.
If you watch
Saturday
MeTV, I think on Saturday nights, MeTV plays the actual lineup.
Oh.
They play, and sometimes it would pair with. Sometimes it was Love American Style. I think that came on when Carol Burnett was in repeats. They would go to Love American Style.
You know what's odd about that? I was too young. I don't remember ever watching it, and I bet my mom did. Watching the Mary Tyler Moore show, but one of the spinoffs from that show was Lou Grant.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I remember as a little kid, I loved this show, Lou Grant. I don't know why, I just loved it because he always figured stuff out, and it was always investigation stuff.
Really well done.
I loved that show.
It was really well
and it holds up well. So in the early '90s, Nick at Night saved it from scattered all over, and they put it on, and they did a marathon that I taped. And so I watched, and I thought in my mind, I had watched all the seasons. I didn't. Right. But they had highlighted a few from each season. And I watched it up until Rhoda leaves. And they don't explain where she went. She's just not there in season 5.
And that was another spinoff.
Oh, okay.
Rhoda.
Right.
Yeah. And she went and had a successful show that we all watched. But they don't in the Mary Tyler Moore show, except for she went on vacation to New York and didn't come back.
Okay.
It's not really explained. But I went on a trip. My first trip to San Francisco is I'm getting on a plane, and I had just been up all night watching Mary Tyler Moore, and I was got on the plane still sniffling, and my friend was like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Rhoda's gone." And she's like, she got her own TV. I was like, "I know, but she's not with Mary. It's not the same." And I was despondent, and I still to this day, I own the first 4 seasons of Mary Tyler Moore. I own the 5th season. I can't break the plastic on it because I just can't watch it without Rhoda. It just breaks my heart that Rhoda left because she's the best friend, and I went to see if I had later than the 4th season, still in the plastic. But you know what it is open? The Mary and Rhoda TV movie.
I love it.
All that happened around the same same couple years. But the Joan Jett did.
And she married Joe, didn't she?
Yeah, she married
Rhoda
Joe in the first season, and then that show fell off.
Yeah.
That show fell off
it
and
really
became terrible
fast.
But
Yeah.
the,
And there
first,
wasn't
the
the-
first season of Rhoda is amazing. Phyllis had her own show.
Here's
Yep.
Phyllis.
And
Here's-
Sue Ann Niven.
And Sue
Come
Ann Niven.
on.
And that's the only thing. And I've only ever seen that in repeats. I've never actually sat because I can't watch them. But
Sure.
Chuckles the Clown is there.
Yes. Oh my God.
Which
that's
I
one of
saw
the
when it really
funniest.
aired.
Yeah.
And as
God,
a
me
child,
too.
almost
Yeah.
pissed my
Yeah.
pants.
Funny.
Totally. And they said that was real. That her laughing.
She had to do it twice.
Like her laughing and stuff. Like she was really struggling.
Yeah,
Like
and
she couldn't help it. And
because the jokes leading up to the funeral
Right.
are fantastic. Just that show hits from beginning to, and that one I've
and
I've
that's
seen,
on
but
Netflix
I saw that when it was,
right now. On Netflix, the entire thing is on.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Mom and
Okay.
I just sat there and watched like 6 episodes, and we're like, "Gee,
Well, if
I
you
have
didn't,
to go to
if
bed."
you if you didn't hear or watch any of the tribute shows, which I know he did,
Right.
When they wrote the script, they literally were 5 minutes short. But when they did it with all the jokes, like in the newsroom, when he comes out and tells them that Chuckles had died, and all of the little things that happen,
because
there's
pauses,
laughter.
The pauses are what's so brilliant.
And then
because
they get to
all
that-
have to think about it. Like,
Right. Well, and Ted Baxter.
do you think he would have
and
lived
just,
if
you
he
know.
was dressed as a gorilla? Or no, if he was dressed as
As
the
a banana?
No, a rogue gorilla would have peeled him to death. Like, and the jokes just fire, and it's still listed as the funniest episode of television ever. And you just can't get past
I'm
it.
watching it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Oh.
Chuckles the Clown, and it gets
really, yeah.
There's an episode of Cheers where
little
where Carla's husband, a little
song, a little dance,
a
a little seltzer down your pants.
It's so fucking wrong. But Sue Ann, and how dirty Sue Ann was.
Sue Ann Niven's awful.
When she
And it
says
was
being
fantastic.
fired is like being violated, and she's like, "Well, you would find the silver lining." I mean, it's so fucking wrong.
Well, and there were so when we were watching it because of being from Minnesota.
It's a funny joke.
Because of being from Minnesota, we were watching the downtown, and my uncle used to work at the Dayton's that showed in the clip.
Yeah, the big department store.
And Mom actually, I think, did as well. And then Donaldson's, and remembering like going down there and shopping when I was a kid. So that was kind of fun just to watch that opening. But then I said to Mom as we were watching, I said, I wonder if you're down there and I rewound it and I froze it and I said, like, if you're that lady, I said, I wonder if you're like, holy shit, I was played over and over and over.
And she did. And the lady that turns her head when she throws the hat in the air, they had a big obituary to her. They had tributes to her.
Oh.
Because there's a lady that just turns and looks like, what
the hell are
fuck
you? Right.
doing?
So I was
Right.
looking at a bunch of different things because I was trying to figure out who the little girl was, the Bess, and I'm like, how did we not see her? Mom said, I'm sure that she was in something. So as I'm on there and I'm looking at everything, number 8 out of 15 awfully big facts about the Mary Tyler Moore Show is that Hazel Frederick was seen in every single episode of the series. Hazel who? Picture it. It was a cold, blustery day in downtown Minneapolis in '69, and they go through this thing, and she had been out doing her shopping at Donaldson's department store, exited the store, proceeded across Nicollet Avenue, which, hearing all this,
Yeah,
it's like,
it's so
oh my
crazy.
God. One of the busiest streets in the city. She noticed an attractive young brunette walking ahead of her into traffic. The woman suddenly stopped and gleefully tossed her hat in the air. That brunette was Mary Tyler Moore and a film crew using hidden equipment in order to be unobtrusive and keep the scenes more natural, was recording her hat toss from the opening credits of her upcoming new show. To make it more realistic, traffic wasn't halted, and Mare had to negotiate her own way across the street for that famous freeze frame. And it's Hazel Frederick between the James and the and in the background. which
Yep,
Clayton
and that's
has
her.
right there.
And that dirty look
Yeah.
is in every single
what is that
episode.
woman doing?
Yeah.
Like,
And they
you can-
found her. They interviewed her. She became a semi-celebrity. And
It's
Into the Night,
fantastic.
Nick at Night interviewed her. That's where I found out her
Oh, I
name.
love
Oh.
it. Yeah.
Because when Nick at Night brought it back, they made such a big deal of we own Mary Tyler Moore.
Yep.
And I think they got the whole MTM library. I think they had the Newhart show for a while too. And they did Hill Street Blues, they did Lou Grant, they did
Yes,
Saint
that's right.
Elsewhere. They had multiple
Yeah.
Emmy winners under their belt.
Yep.
But it was just a joyous moment, and they had told her it was going to be cold. Be ready. We're going to film outside and have you walk around Minnesota. We're not going to do this on the lot. We're going to do this, and it's really cold. So she brought a hat she liked, and they just said, like, what do you feel like doing? And she just liked it. She was having so much fun because they had it hidden, and no one realized who she was.
Right.
And she just threw it up, and she, it was just a fun thing. Like, I'm in the big city. That's like she did it as an actress, and it was such a nice moment.
And now there's the statue.
Dun, dun,
There's
dun,
a.
dun. I mean, you just
there's
can't stop the
a-
choreography.
There's a Mary Tyler Moore bronze statue that's
I like what
downtown
happens in your
Minneapolis,
head.
And they
on
brought it
Nicollet
inside.
Avenue.
Yeah, they brought it inside.
And it's outside again on Nicollet Avenue, and they did a special thing, and I was gonna send it to you where a ton of people went down there
and sang and threw their hats
in the air. It was
so
wonderful,
charming.
and I got a little teary
I
about
mean,
that.
I wanted a
was
sofa couch, and I got one. The first time it
love
was
it.
like my
I
place
love
with
it.
my furniture. I wanted a sofa
Sure.
sofa bed because Mary made the sofa
Yeah.
bed look so glamorous that she
That's
did
true.
that sofa bed. And I almost bought an M for Missy at the
love it.
antique place
Yeah.
at 7th Avenue in Indian School. But I was like, oh, that's such a stretch, though. Would people get what I was, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I was going to should I put M and an A for Missy
Missy
L,
L,
or would
sure.
it look like Ma? Like, would it
Right,
look
right.
funny? And I didn't know what to do, and so I just walked away. I never made a decision.
The only other thing I found on this
Uh-huh.
15 things that I thought was really cute was that the MTM kitten, right at the end, the little kitten, was found in a Minneapolis shelter. And I, for whatever reason, I just thought that was cute.
And for Aaron, I mean, one of the
Right.
biggest animal rights advocates.
Yep.
Close friends with Bernadette Peters. They did the
Yes.
Broadway Barks in response
Right.
to Broadway Cares.
Yep.
They always did the animal shelters, and after 9/11, they were the ones that set up the fund to go check on people's pets to make sure that people that had
All the people that disappeared, make sure their pets
make sure their
weren't
pets were
abandoned.
taken care of.
Yeah, it
So
was a
they
big deal.
followed up with the addresses to make sure there was someone to take care of the animal. So I mean, she was
She was
just
just good.
a genuinely
Yeah.
nice person.
The kitten's name was Mimsy and lived to 20.
Oh, very
I love
nice.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking
And you
God.
just
Little
always-
Mimsy, it really is, yeah.
And you would never,
Mimsy.
you just couldn't turn that show off. Like, you can't turn that show off till that kitten meows. Like,
Yeah.
you sit through all the credits because they play the song again.
Yeah.
And you get
Yeah.
to see the cute little things at the end, and then you get the kitten. Like, come on,
Yeah.
people, I'm not made of stone.
I know. Anyway, so I didn't mean to hijack that.
No. I really should.
Hijack away.
She belongs to all of
Yeah.
us from
I
that
don't know
area
what this
because
show's even about.
it
so-
went into reruns while it was still in the air, like much like
Okay.
Friends and
Sure.
and The Big Bang Theory is, and it was on like every afternoon,
Yeah.
so I would watch it every afternoon
Such
when
a
I got
good
home
show.
from school, and then I would Saturday night watch a new one. And I still, like, if you see me in the grocery store with my grocery cart,
Right.
if I don't just bring my bag and I have the cart, I look at the meat and I toss it in, and I do it. Sometimes I have to put the meat back because I have no intention of buying it, but I cannot help myself but pick up a package of meat and throw it in the cart.
Sure.
Or I
my
do
God,
the
that's
Clary
great.
from Steel
Steel
Magnolias,
Magnolias.
where he just does that little bounce with
Yeah.
the cart.
Right.
We are
Pork
not-
and beans. Drum eats them with everything.
That explains a lot. We are not feeding him till the end of time. This is just a gesture. But every time somebody sees me with a grocery cart, I'm doing some kind of Mary Tyler Moore Steel Magnolias thing because I'm insane.
I love it. I absolutely
So
love that.
speaking of TV, something that you can watch currently on Hulu that thank God for the Oh, and look at Meow Cal is here from Minnesota.
Hi, Meow.
Welcome aboard, and Joey's back from Trudeau Land, which is
I
a
love it.
wonderful alternative
Yes,
to Canada.
yes.
The Barbara Seville reminded me of something that I had watched during that pilot shit that we talked
Difficult
about.
People?
Difficult People.
I love that
Oh,
show.
God, funny.
Holy fucking shit. I saw
Funny.
the first episode in that pilot thing like 2 years ago.
Billy, what's his fuck?
Billy Eichner.
Billy on the street?
Sure.
Yeah.
Billy on the street.
Yeah.
And the pain in the ass woman that she crazy ex-girlfriends because she
Yes.
writes it, she produces it, it's created by her. That comes from her sick and twisted mind.
Which I've been watching,
I
and
love
that's
them.
fucking funny.
Crazy
That
ex-girlfriend?
Ex-Girlfriend.
I know. I can't wait for the second season to appear somewhere where I can get it for free.
Did
Yeah.
you get to the episode of Difficult People where they like rip off Hamilton?
Oh no, not yet.
Oh, honey.
Oh, I honest
It's
to
okay.
God.
Do you have the subscription? Do you need my password? Like,
No,
are
I
you-
haven't.
okay.
And I had honestly because I saw the pilot. I guess it was
Yeah.
made for USA or something. A long
Long
time
ago, sure.
Forgot about the show. I thought it was called something else. I thought it was called Awful People or something like that. So never
a
really
valid title.
never because they truly are. But I've got to tell you, this is one of the funniest pieces of bullshit on TV right now. It's laugh out loud funny. They're absolutely horrible.
Here's what I know. I know, I'm pretty sure if Sharon ever like kicks me out for good, I will be that cynical, and 2 will just move to New York
Find those
and
two.
find a gay and just like
and they have said the most horrible things about
all of the horrible
so
things.
many
Yes.
people. And it's one of those shows that you could tell, like, your 8th time through, you would catch another. It's like Veep. It's like you can't take it all in.
Well, because it's so many like rapid fire and some obscure pop culture stuff,
And they're horrible. When they tell the little girl that understudy is just a fancy word for disappointment.
Yeah.
I paid $120 for the seat. I'm going to say shit whenever I want to. That's just the opening. But
and the mom, her mom.
Oh, Andrea Martin.
Yes.
Who knew that there was another level of funniness to Andrea Martin? Like, as funny as you've always thought she was, oh no. She goes somewhere different, and she makes a musical about herself as a therapist. And then she Ubers herself as a therapist because there's a lot of suicides at Christmas. So she does surge charging for suicidal calls at Christmas and tells people, I'm shopping right now, so it is going to be 2.3 times your usual rate. I mean, but the insults to famous people and their projects and the shit talk they do about everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's unreal. I think I watched like 6 or 7 episodes last night, and I kept going like, go to bed. And I was like, I couldn't. Like, I had to Stranger Things it. I literally had to cut myself off and be like, go the fuck. You're falling asleep laughing. And it was like any other funny show that I watched. And I'm kind of like, yeah. So typical people. Hulu, it's worth your whole thing. Plus, you're going to get the last couple seasons of the Mindy Project, so how you going to lose?
I recently just upgraded my my Hulu subscription. It was too cheap to go all the way to $12 a month.
I may have to, because those commercials were brutal.
Had to do it. Like Guilty Pleasure TV came back, so Nashville is back, Grey's Anatomy, like all of the Shonda Rhimes mindfucks are back. Mm-hmm. And like first episode of Nashville, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I can't even keep track of the horrible drama that's happening on the TV.
There's an
because of the commercials.
There's an insurance company that advertises only on Hulu. I've never heard of it outside of Hulu, but by the end of last night, I felt like I worked for that company. Yeah. Because I'd watched their shit so much.
Yeah, I finally had to. But the good news is, if you're in the middle of a show and you go online and upgrade, and then you just have to close the app and reopen the app, bam, you're in business. No more commercials.
And I love it because
ever.
it's on my big TV because it's one of the apps on my Blu-ray player. Oh
yeah.
My god, I have I was crossing my legs because I'm like, oh god, I hope there's a commercial because I'm gonna pee my pants in about a minute. I can't remember what celebrity that I actually like, and they just ripped them to shreds
because they have no shame. They hate everyone.
They hate everyone. But as they show a thing.
They've gone after Bernadette Peters. They've gone after Hamilton. They've gone after everyone. Everyone.
First episode where they're late to see Annie, and they're being like dodged by people. They're being bothered by people in the street, and the one guy goes, "Would you like to give to gay rights?" And he's like, "I've been giving all the time to diminishing returns."
That's where it comes from.
Oh, painful. So that's your show to watch. And then, so we'll start with the most political thing I have watched since the election, and that was the Screen Actors Guild Awards.
Good on them.
Which opened with Ashton Kutcher just going off the rails and telling the Orange Dumpster Fire to go fuck himself. And then changes tone and goes...
So we're not being punked.
No, I was so disappointed.
And then, turns his voice and goes, and in other news, welcome to the Screen Actors Guild Award. He went on a rant.
That's fantastic.
And it was winner by winner by winner that went up on stage and just went, oh, I wonder if you could find the Stranger Things win.
Yeah.
Find that. See if you can find that on YouTube.
Not playing it.
No.
We will get nailed.
No. Not the Stranger Things. The acceptance speech for Stranger Things.
I understand that, but that's also part of the Screen Actors Guild, and they're going to nail us for it.
Okay.
I could probably get still shots.
Find it.
Can you reenact it if I give you still shots? Can you?
I really couldn't.
Probably only Winona Ryder's
I could probably do all that. The many faces of Winona.
Can we do the Winona Ryder thing?
Let me see if I can find that
She
GIF.
did an acting class all in one thing.
Right.
We don't know what was happening. My favorite is see if you can find the one with the pizza in it.
I've seen that too.
Yeah. See if you can find the pizza one because that's my fave.
Just crazy. So, performance by a female actor in a drama series, Claire Foy for The Crown, which we've drank all the Kool-Aid on and we're all on board. We're good. I wish there was a little bit more love, and I think we have to wait for the Emmys for the actress that's playing Princess Margaret, because I think she is outstanding as Elizabeth's sister.
I don't know. That's really hard to, because it's uncanny the way that they've filmed her. Elizabeth, what's her name? Foy.
Yeah.
Like the way that they filmed her, the way that her voice sounds, the way that she just stands, like it's really uncanny.
And the subtle aging, the way that they're aging her with just a stroke of gray or one wrinkle to let you know that 3 weeks has passed.
Like I'm weirdly obsessed with the monarchy.
Yeah.
Not to the point that I've memorized all of them, but anything that comes up about British monarchy, I'm like, oh, I'm in. I'll sit down and watch this whole fucking documentary. I don't care.
So
it
is funny. So you've got this.
The pizza one's my fave.
But she.
And the dude that's just holding her down.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more pizza.
Wait, more pizza. What the?
You should watch it. She goes, oh. And then it goes right into his mouth. Woo!
And the pizza. What?
And when you were watching it live, you couldn't not watch it either. Like,
oh my God.
Seriously, you
That's
couldn't keep your eyes off it.
Has there been any statement as to what the fuck was going on with her?
They said
Not that I had heard.
Oh, no, they did, because if you watch the
I knew Al would know.
backstage, if you watch the backstage press, they immediately. They all go backstage and they do 2 press conferences. First it's the adults, then they do the kids, and the kids were much better at the press conference than the adults were.
How funny.
Adults are too self-conscious, right?
Only David Harbour talked at the backstage press conference, who said he was sick. And he said that she was only vaguely aware of what he was going to say, and they said she couldn't hear. That a lot of them were going, because the applause was so loud and it's broadcast out, that the kids knew more, and that's why they were jumping up and down and screaming. They knew what he was reading, and she was literally like, what is... Like, trying to hear him. Like, most of that is kind of like,
all right,
I can't see your face. That's what they said it immediately. Like, it wasn't like a couple days later. They walked backstage and asked about her facial expressions.
That woman is an actress.
And she's crazy.
She should have fucking... First of all, fucking act like you know what's happening when you're on a stage.
Right.
Second of all...
And it was genuine.
She looked like we did. Yeah. Remember when Clayton had when we were in the other studio and there were all the bugs? I
wasn't here for that.
Yeah, because of... Maybe you weren't. Because it was
super wasn't. This is my only
Remember
studio.
there were the little...
we
like, probably looked just like her because we were like this.
As we're all looking around.
I mean...
And it really was funny to see how fast he said, like, without knowing, he couldn't see her. He was like, oh, did she make faces?
Oh.
And then I think one of the kids says, like, oh, I don't think she could hear what he was saying. And it may be hard to hear up there. You don't know.
I don't know.
Because the crowd definitely went nuts at one point, and the crowd loses their shit. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And they were genuinely surprised because, as we learn now, the winner of Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Drama Series went to John Lithgow. So if actor and actress go to The Crown, everyone assumed The Crown or Westworld was the runner-up for what everyone thought would win for Best Drama Ensemble in a Drama Series. So he had written this impassioned speech. He had told all the kids at dinner and the directors, the brothers that direct the show, what he was planning on doing. He said he tweaked it that morning with the refugees and the people in the airports. He had tweaked it a little bit, but he knew how he was going to say, like, Midwesterners in 1983 would handle it like this. So it was a genuine surprise, and you can tell from the minute their name is called that they're like, what the fuck? Is she supposed to say The Crown?
That just happened?
Or Westworld? So you can tell that Winona Ryder's off her game from the get-go. Like, when you see because I wanted to back up. When I rewatched it on YouTube, I'm like, I need them to go back and say the winner. Because, they're ready they have the 5 cameras in place for whoever wins. And you can see the look on their faces like, are we being punked? Because... The Crown's winning everything.
And Ashton's here. So.
And Ashton's here. So
in the house.
But as you watch, as the speech goes on, and the one boy, the main boy, the one who it's his sister and everything, and Barb's friend is his sister, he's like jumping as high as David Harbour. He's so excited by the win. Like, it's so much fun. I kept being like, pan out. Let's see all of them. But John Lithgow playing Winston Churchill. And for
He's
a 6'4" man to be playing a 5'2" something, all with hunching and like... There's no special makeup. They just made his collar tight, and the fact that he can make himself somehow the similar height to Claire Foy, that like you're like, that's acting.
You almost never see them standing together. She's always sitting.
When he apologizes, he has to, because she starts that scene standing up to him, and then she sits down and tells him off. But she starts that standing
Does
up.
she start
That's
that
the
with
only
sta-
time
'cause
I watched for it too.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how are they going to get away
"Wait
with it? He's a foot
minute."
taller than he should be. But that scene starts with them standing, and then
Okay. Like
she
one
sits.
scene I can totally see doing it for, but I was thinking about it and I'm like, wait, the rest of
But
them.
he kisses her hand every
she's-
time.
But she's sitting.
But that time
She sits the whole
and
every audience
but
that they have.
that last one when she finds out she's betrayed, when she tells him off. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a comedy series, a show that everybody has recently found. It's got to be on something besides Showtime, because now everyone's hooked on Shameless. So it must be on Hulu.
So the first 5 seasons are on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. All right. I'm like,
Because
it had to have come up
I
somewhere.
plowed through that, and I love that it's in the comedy category. I plowed through that in like maybe a week. That should be on the list. Plowed
They've
through
switched back and forth. He wasn't winning in one category, so
Who won?
William H. Macy.
Was it William H. Macy?
So he switched. He made them switch which category he was competing in.
Mm.
So I can't remember if in the Emmys they went from comedy to drama. It's an hour-long show, right?
It's an hour-long show.
So now in the Emmy rules, they have to be a drama. There's no such thing as an
Okay.
hour-long comedy in the Emmys.
That's stupid.
So he may have switched back. I think it went drama, comedy, drama, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But so he won, but he beat Blackish Anthony Anderson, who I really think should have won, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, who I really think should have won. And
100%. Both of those shows are way more comedy than Shameless.
Yeah.
Shameless
Two
is like a
turtle
dark. Have you watched it at all?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like dark comedy, like the most horrible shit that can happen to white people.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but
Seriously.
Now that I'm more caught up on Transparent, still not a comedy.
It's, not funny.
Not funny. Well done.
I haven't watched the most recent season.
I haven't watched season 3 either.
Yeah.
But season 2, funny. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role. In one of the bigger surprises of the night, Denzel Washington, who's never won a SAG award, and that was all over Gold Derby for the last 2 weeks, was that Denzel Washington for his 2 Oscars and everything else. Some of it has to do with his first Oscar. The SAGs didn't exist. They're only 23 or 24 years old. So he doesn't have a SAG award. So now we have one more category out of the top 6 that went to something different. So Casey Affleck is the hands-on favorite for the Oscar, but Denzel Washington came in and won the SAG award. So
What
a lot
in
of
the world
times,
is happening?
a lot of times people are going to these awards places to find out who to vote for, or find out what the odds are, or find out trivia. Like, does Denzel Washington need a SAG award? Because Casey Affleck has something about molesting women or touching women inappropriately, or some assistant on that really weird documentary he did about Joaquin Phoenix, because they're best friends and they used to be in-laws.
Yeah.
Casey Affleck is separated from Joaquin Phoenix's sister, Rain. Might be Spring. I don't know what her name is.
It's probably summer.
Because Joaquin used to be Leaf.
Autumn?
Joaquin's real name.
I think her name is Autumn.
Right, but Joaquin used to be known as, he's in Parenthood as Leaf Phoenix. In case you ever wondered, did Leaf Phoenix grow up?
Interesting. Okay.
That's Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because everyone had a nature name. There was
Yeah,
River. There
absolutely.
was,
Yeah.
I think her name is, now I can't remember what I think it is.
Sagebrush, who knows?
Yeah, but everybody had a name like that. And
Starburst.
Weird story. I was in a doctor's office in the 80s before anybody was famous, and saw in the early 80s, like my doctor in Niagara Falls, and saw an article on vegetarianism, and the family on the front was the Phoenix family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they introduced.
Yeah,
the
they
4
were-
kids with nature
yep.
names,
Yep.
and
They were vegan.
Leaf.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were vegan or something, and they were, and I
Yeah.
was like, who the fuck are
Yeah.
these people?
River
and then
Phoenix did a whole big thing about like with animals.
and then I saw River
yeah.
Phoenix in
Yep.
Stand By Me, and I'm like, well, okay, that's that kid from
Right.
From the cover.
the
Yeah.
Highlights magazine where I was supposed to
From
color.
I
highlights.
fucking love Highlights
I know.
magazine.
I know. Picture
So
green.
Goofus and Gallant in the back. Listen.
female actor in a comedy series, Julia Louis-Dreyfus wins. It's a shame in this category that Orange is the New Black, that Uzo Aduba didn't win, but it's because I think personally that the last 3 episodes of that season were so sad and so serious. There wasn't a moment of comedy between what happens to Lori Petty when you find out how Suzanne got to prison, and then what happens to Poussey because
Yeah.
of Uzo Aduba. Like, that was dark. Like, all of us needed therapy and hand
It was
holding.
really
There was
hard.
nothing comedy in that at all.
Good Lord, in summer's coming. There's going to be another season.
Right.
Call my therapist.
Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda were both nominated for Grace and Frankie. The Lifetime Achievement Award to Lily Tomlin was presented by Dolly Parton, who was a fucking delight, and she stole until Stranger Things. That show was all her. That was all you were going to talk about, was how funny she was. And in a weird twist, like 7 days before or 8 days before, Jane Fonda had been on
Bill Maher
for his birthday.
Predator.
And she really was starting to get sick. Like, she kept coughing. She kept not being able to finish her thought. And you could tell something was coming. And so a week later, when she wasn't there and they said she was sick, I was like, well, I just watched her a week ago.
Watched her get sick.
She looked like a bug was coming. I would have picked Ellie Kemper for Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, just because I feel like Julia Louis-Dreyfus is, you've got enough awards. Sit down.
Right. Settle
Let
down.
Ellie Kemper have something for how funny she is.
Right.
Incidentally, we were both right on the Phoenix Sisters. There is a Rain and a Summer and a Liberty.
Liberty, that's the one I always forget about. And I think Rain is the one that was married to Casey Affleck. I think.
Stand by. Nope. Summer.
It was Summer? Okay.
You had a 50-50.
Because the one day she was sitting next to him at an award show, and I'm like, why the fuck is there a Phoenix sister sitting next to Casey Affleck? And that's how I found out they were married.
And there it is.
Because of my shittiness.
Separated in 2006. Married
Not because of your
separated.
shittiness. You had nothing to do with
Well,
it.
it made me go look it up.
Okay.
Because
Married in 2006, separated in 2016.
I realize you have a lot of power, but
they just recently separated, and his speech was about how much he loved her and how much he owed to her as an actor and as a father.
And Highlights magazine.
So he was trying to get laid again. La La Land.
I don't
Emma
think
Stone.
he's having trouble with that.
La La Land. Emma Stone wins for performance by a female actor in a leading role. And what makes this interesting is because Elle, the actress from Elle, Isabelle Huppert, is not nominated here. So now this is another category that's split.
Oscars kind of.
So what are the Oscars going to do? So we got to see what happens at the BAFTAs. But Emma Stone seems to be the Oscar that La La Land is definitely going to win. Anything else could be up in the air. But I think what they're going to do is they're going to be like, just in case somebody sneaks in somewhere else.
Because she was maybe my least favorite part. Like, I loved all of the movie.
Right.
But I think of all the things that I think, oh my God, this should win an award, like, she's the bottom of the list.
Exactly. But unfortunately, she's going to rise. She's the Silver Linings playbook of, like, we got to give it something.
That fucking movie.
But Amy Adams is not nominated for the Oscar. Natalie Portman, that seems to be fading away now that she didn't win here either. Like, and Meryl Streep, we got there was the talk of, after all the politics of the Golden Globes with Meryl Streep, that the actors would maybe give it to Meryl Streep so she would give another political speech. But after how political this show was, John Lithgow, when he won, gave a speech about, like, inclusiveness and diversity, and he goes, and I would like to quote an underrated actress, and I would just like to say that 3 weeks ago she said everything I would have said, but more eloquently. Like, they were just fuck Trump.
Backwards and in heels.
Yeah. Female actor in a supporting role. This is the only category that, mark your cards, it's going to win Viola Davis as supporting role. There's as beautiful as Nicole Kidman is in Lion, and Naomi Harris is in Moonlight, and the very small, tiny bit of screen time that Michelle Williams gets in Manchester by the Sea. Viola Davis, people. She snot bubbles like nobody else can. Male actor in a supporting role, Mahershala Ali for Moonlight. There's some talk that he disappears after the first third of the film and he's not seen again, but so did Anne Hathaway in Les Miserables. You know, she's only in the first part.
She dreamed a dream, though.
Yeah. And as they say,
they
say in Forbidden Broadway, I dreamed a dream that I wouldn't sing one song and die. So that's
why Patti LuPone likes playing that part.
Yeah.
She
can go to the bar and not show up to the finale. She's got 2 hours to drink in between her parts.
She did a whole shtick on that in concert.
So Mahershala gave a beautiful speech about the fact that he was raised by a Protestant minister. You know, the woman that raised him, he converted to Islam and is a Muslim, and the fact that they can still find each other and love each other despite having different faiths. And couldn't we all do that? And he did it all through tears. Acknowledged the black community that was involved with Moonlight, the gay community, the people that can't be their true selves, and the thought of, like, coming out as whoever you're supposed to be. It was like,
well, and
leave me the fuck alone.
And his mom being a pastor.
Said that. Yeah, the mother being a minister in his conversion, or what I said 5 seconds ago. But
I didn't listen to it all. I was looking for something else. Sorry, I thought that was really something.
It really was. It was. Sorry. I mean, the speech after speech.
I wasn't listening. I'm not gonna lie.
Just beautiful.
We should listen to this show. It sounds interesting.
It's not,
Every now and again.
Must be a good time. So, performance by cast in a motion picture.
4 years running. Yeah.
And what Doug described as the biggest surprise of the evening, I didn't find it that surprising, but Hidden Figures won for cast. And because it truly is, I think it's unfair to pick out Octavia Spencer from that bunch when all three women contribute, and Kirsten Dunst is so good, and Kevin Costner has such a strong role, and even Jim Parsons, even though he's playing Sheldon, this time it's personal. It really,
a darker Sheldon.
Electric Boogaloo.
And Mahershala Ali was in Moonlight, and he's in Hidden Figures, so he was nominated 3 times. Naomi Harris, or not Naomi, Janelle Monáe is in Hidden Figures and in Moonlight.
I love her.
So it was cute when they were doing when they were showing the tables for what cast. Janelle Monáe ran over to the Moonlight table, like they said Hidden Figures, then we said Moonlight.
That's super
she
cute.
ran over and stood next to Mahershala.
They had a segment on CBS Sunday Morning last Sunday, and I saw that they had a whole segment about a Moonlight, and it was really interesting to watch it because they interviewed the young man who plays the younger version. It was just a very interesting thing, and I didn't realize the story of that movie, and I want to see it.
Oh, it's beautiful. But I mean, you really have to be ready for bullying because there's a reason why this kid is so tortured. It's because he just comes from a horrible place. But Janelle Monáe is just a ray of light in that movie, and the fact that she gets her award, and Hidden Figures was a wonderful, wonderful ensemble. It really was the best definition of that movie. Where La La Land, everyone was surprised it wasn't nominated, but after you get done with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, you're like, was there somebody else in that movie? Like, you can't even name a supporting character, like except for John Legend, who has a tiny role, and you could probably
nope. That was a cameo at best.
And the person that has to engrave all these motherfucking awards was very excited when Orange Is the New Black won again. It won as comedy series, and I have to give it to them because that really was the most effective season of a TV show. Those last 3 episodes, if you're not watching Orange Is the New Black, what the fuck is wrong with you, first off? And
we don't want to know you anymore. Get out of our life.
But season 4, the last 3 episodes are so of right this minute today and what we're dealing with in privatized prisons and abuse and people doing the right thing for the wrong reasons and the wrong thing for the right reasons. And that is the toughest 3 episodes of 1-hour television I've ever watched. And I know that everybody that was watching at the same time with me at Facebook was all in need of therapy.
We were dying.
There's no possible way I can watch any of this. I can't even keep up with Mar and John.
Yeah, so you have to abandon the news.
There's so many. There's so many. I can't. There's no way.
We're going to have to write a Dear John letter.
And I even DVR some stuff, and I get to that, and I still can't manage.
But you just have to have that one day, because you can knock out a season of Orange Is the New Black in like a day and a half of just staying in my pajamas.
2 solid days of pajamas and go fuck yourself.
I think I've wasted 1 week of my life on Orange Is the New Black. All together, it's been 1 week. And I make the pot of coffee, because at some point, Orange Is the New Black turns to the corner, and you're like, I just got to know what happened.
That becomes one of those that Sharon and I watch together. So then it's like 3 episodes a night, and within a week, we're done.
Stranger Things wins for Best Ensemble in a Drama Series, and one of the biggest surprises of the night, and one of the best speeches. If you have not, just go on YouTube and watch that speech, because it is inspiring and brilliant and spontaneous, and because they didn't know they were going to win, and just to see those little kids just jumping up and down with absolute glee. That for a while I thought the guy from The Night Of, whose name I don't have, he was in The Night Of, he was in Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal. He presents the award with Rashida Jones. And I watched the clip so many times, I was like, was he in that somewhere? Do I not remember his role in Stranger Things? So we're almost done. Performance by a male actor in a television movie or miniseries. I think there was split votes. Oh, we're going to see his name. Riz Ahmed is the actor's name, who's in The Night Of. So they had 4 actors from 2 shows, and then they had Bryan Cranston in All the Way, and Bryan Cranston won. A lot of times it happens when you're splitting votes. Performance by a female actor in a movie miniseries. Does anybody think Sarah Paulson's just not going to win every award she's up for playing Marsha Clark?
Right.
All the things.
Yeah, all the things. And that's it for that. The Producers Guild, only a couple of things here. La La Land wins, and Producers Guild nominates the same way that the Academy does, and they vote the same way. So they actually do preferential ballots. So you don't just pick who you want to win. You pick 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, I see.
And they go through and they keep eliminating until they got the person that has the most votes. So if everybody
Interesting.
votes for Hidden Figures as their number 2 movie, Hidden Figures will probably win Best Picture. But so with that preferential ballot in mind, the Producers Guild picked La La Land.
Which quality film? I just don't think Emma Stone's.
Yeah, but
Like you could have replaced her with any. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel like.
and I think that
And
about
I'm not
Ryan
the movie
Gosling in
critic
that one.
sitting in this chair, but I don't feel like Emma Stone was like instrumental to that movie. You could put any pretty lady there,
Yeah.
and it would have worked just as well.
And I think that's why Damien Chazelle from Whiplash is definitely guaranteed an Oscar, because you could substitute either one of those two. That movie is so well written. It
Yeah.
could have been Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin, and you would have been delighted by the entire thing. Because it's not anything. It's just that movie is just filled with joy. It's more about
Yeah.
the filmmaking than it is about the performances.
Yeah.
So La La Land gets Best Picture out of them. Zootopia gets Best Animated Feature. Documentary, OJ Made in America. Long form television, The People versus OJ Simpson. Big year for OJ, as long as you're not OJ. Outstanding digital series, Comedians in Cars Getting
Funny.
Coffee, which has been getting better.
I
and
enjoy
better
it.
and
funny.
I've enjoyed
better.
almost every single
Yeah.
one of them.
And I'm not a Seinfeld fan. Like Jerry gets on my nerves.
Yeah,
but
he
it's
does.
not, to me,
I'm
it's
with
not
you,
him.
Kat. I'm totally with you.
No, I think
I enjoy
I
the
think
car.
I've seen too much of his stand up that gets
But
on
this-
my nerves.
but this
so
is
it's
so
just kind of
different
like
where he's
his
just-
voice is very.
Yeah, but this is him being himself, and the conversation's so much fun.
Yeah.
The Bill Maher episode, I like. Anytime he has a comedian I even kind of like, I'm like, this is. And Obama's was good.
Yeah, the Obama
Um,
was genius.
The big shocker in this one is that Stranger Things won here too as best drama.
Interesting.
Yep. So I mean, people are drinking the Kool-Aid with me on Stranger Things. Atlanta won comedy, which is the Danny Glover about the guy trying to be a rap star in Atlanta. I can't remember what network it's on. And Making a Murderer gets nonfiction television series, which is the first. I don't know if they just weren't up against all the shows on HBO, but because HBO at the Emmys won for like every single thing they did, they made up a new documentary to make sure they won. But they won an Emmy for the one about Robert Durst. They won an Emmy for the Scientology one, Going Clear. They won one for Making a Murderer. Like somehow there was enough documentary Emmy awards available for them to win every Emmy award for documentary. And in a year that I'm like, that's justified.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Because every one of those documentaries was like jaw-droppingly good.
Right.
But this Made in America, and now I haven't, unfortunately, the Made in America, I haven't seen it all as one thing. I've watched it all out of order. There's been an episode here, like I've seen it at like in the break room at work. I've seen it at home. There's been an episode on because it was on ESPN last summer, so I saw one when I was and it's really, really well done. But now I want to watch it like all as one and find out like
all together.
Yeah. So that's it for awards and your TV shows and difficult people. Seriously, I hate to recommend yet another way to spend your money on TV, but it's good. I think there's one more headlight here. Oh, the new CBS thing opens. Oh no, I know what it was. Rachel Bloom is writing the music for the Flash Supergirl musical crossover.
Oh, I did see that.
And the CBS thing that Star Trek will one day be on once they get over all their fighting.
Streaming thing?
The streaming thing starts with The Good Wife sequel. The Good Woman, The Good Place, The Good Human, The Good something or other. The Good Fight. It's called The Good Fight.
Oh.
So if you're
title.
waiting for that Star Trek show to come on streaming, the CBS streaming, and I think their first week is free. I think the first week or the first month.
That's how everybody hooks you is, drug dealers have been doing it for years. First one's free.
Yeah.
But I've been kind of holding back on the CBS thing. The thing that keeps tempting me is, believe it or not, Big Bang Theory.
Well, take it from someone who I wanted to do that, and I actually got the virus on my computer, downloading it from Japan. Pay whatever money they ask.
Yeah.
But I have a couple seasons on DVD that I can loan you.
Yeah, like I have the first season digitally from unnamed sources, and I think that's it. I think I'm just first season. And really, I figured like the CBS thing would get me there, and or, believe it or not, the Phoenix Public Library. Yeah, they got a lot of things.
Yeah,
they have a lot of things.
Yeah, they really do.
I will say and I know I've said it before about Big Bang Theory, it's fun, it's light, it's mindless, and for some reason Kelly Cuoco has the easiest job in television. There's no desire to make that character grow or change. Right. She got a haircut and changed jobs, but she just...
It's nerd funny, which appeals to me. It's long-running jokes, which appeals to me. It's nappable, which appeals to me. Which
very nappable.
Nappable in my world means maybe I can sleep through an episode or two and not necessarily miss a lot of plot. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll miss a couple of jokes, but I'll probably still know what's happening when I wake up.
And it's 9 years of the same joke, and every once in a while she has to sing their version of Smelly Cat to Sheldon so he can sleep, and Bob Newhart shows up. But it's charming.
All of those things I know.
It's charming. Yeah. It's got a charm to it that you can't.
Oh, and Modern Family's the other CBS one.
Yeah.
Which you can't
No, it's
anywhere.
ABC.
Are you sure?
Yep, definitely.
Whatever.
Absolutely, it's on the ABC Wednesday night lineup. But I will say, if you're gonna get hooked on a CBS show, get hooked on How I Met Your Mother, because...
Oh, I've already seen all of it.
Oh, okay, because that's all heart.
Every episode.
Well-written stories, the character
They needed to
development.
delete the very last episode. They needed to stop at the second to last episode.
Oh, I cried so hard I don't even know.
They didn't need the like coming back together and finding them out. Right.
Yeah.
Good Lord, it's late.
I know.
Entertainment.
Are you done?
Holy shit, yeah.
Got it. Good. Two things is what she brings. Two things is what she's talking about. Two things, important little things. That is what she's spouting out.
You just need two things.
That means two things.
Let's get two things clear.
And then two things about yourself.
And I've come to share with you one of two things. No, two of two things. We're sharing two things right now.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world.
Quick, grab two things you love.
It can be two things.
Only two things in the world I'm scared of.
Fries and two things.
Remember two things.
I believe in two things.
Guys are only after two things.
What's better, doing two things at once or just one?
Never half-ass two things. Whole ass one thing.
Kat Carlson, ladies and gentlemen.
And yet here I am half-assing two things.
Oh, I like it.
All right.
We blow.
So I have two things. There's actually somewhat related right now. The first thing is going to be a little disturbing to one of our cast members. It's an article. It's a blog entry entitled "Is Rachel Maddow Becoming a Liberal Glenn Beck?"
Well,
I know. Brace yourself. It's gonna be okay.
I'm sitting right here. I'm sitting right here.
He's tensing up.
Can I ask you a question before you start this?
Sure.
When did you find this story, and how long have you been sitting on it?
Okay.
Because I have a feeling that you knew this.
Actually, no. This story was just posted yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right.
And actually, the same episode that's being talked about here kind of struck me as odd as well. Okay, so this the blog post is from a very reputable source, antiwar.com.
Okay, I'm gonna write this down.
Right, we don't give a shit because it's an opinion piece, right? And we should like open our minds and realize that this is just somebody's point of view.
Their opinion is wrong.
Right.
I really believe.
And that's fair.
I need to check and see if she's seen my tweet yet. I'll check later.
Right.
In any event, so this is somebody's blog post. This is somebody's just unsolicited opinion that they've thrown out there on the internet, and somehow it came to me.
Okay.
Right?
Somehow.
Due to the magic of the internet.
The interwebs, yep.
Right. So the blog post starts out, it says, when Rachel Maddow finished a 26-minute monologue that spanned 2 segments on her MSNBC program last Thursday night, her grave tones indicated that she thought she delivered a whale of a story, but actually it was more like a minnow. Convoluted and labored, Maddow's narrative tried to make major hay out of a report from Moscow that a high-ranking Russian intelligence official had been dragged out of a meeting, arrested, and charged with treason. Weirdly, Maddow kept presenting that bare-bones story as verification that Russia's President Vladimir Putin had directly ordered the hacking and release of Democratic campaign emails in order to get Donald Trump elected president. it goes on, blah, 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 attacking. But I think there's actually something really important here in that while Rachel Maddow is an intelligent, qualified, you know what I mean, wonderful person, she's also really kind of slanted and really kind of on her own agenda, right? And you can kind of see it on her show. She's not, I don't think that she's coming from a very she's not even trying to veil like unbiased.
Oh no, not at all.
Right,
not even a little bit.
She's
right.
not coming from that place. So like to think of her as news is tough.
No, she's
right?
not news.
Because while she tells a great story, while she has a lot of factual things behind her, while she's on an alleged news network, and while we love her, I'm not saying that we don't love her, and I still listen to her every day. She's my most listened to
Cat's
thing.
afraid of you right now.
No, and I'm not.
Both hands are right here, just so you know.
Maybe
Both
I
hands,
should-
I'm just...
Is this my
Hey,
car?
by the way, I'll keep this open. I'll keep the lane. I'll keep
How
the
do you
lane
feel
open.
about Cleveland?
Go on.
No, but I know us at the table are really immersed in current events, right? And I think that we're all cynical enough, right, to kind of question things and to push off things that don't feel right.
Oh, and I don't doubt for a minute that there isn't a spin being put on something coming from her.
For sure.
I just happen to like that angle.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and
I'm good with that spin.
Yeah.
I typically agree with her viewpoint too. It was really funny, and this caught my eye because I was thinking the same thing about that Russia episode, because I was like, well, okay, I'm listening, and I'm like, well, that's really weird. I wonder what's going to come out of this, and did what she kind of encourages you to do all the time, and she says, watch this space, and so I just kind of like filed it away, and then it came back for a second segment, and I was like, what are we short on news this week? Like, what's going?
Was this
news day
is this
today?
the episode where she went through the entire, like, the hotel and all of the recording stuff and everything from Russia? Like, was that the episode?
It's the one with the guy being dragged out of the meeting.
Yeah, yes, same one.
Yeah, so it was two segments and all
Bagged
really
his head, dragged
yeah.
him out. Haven't seen him in months.
And it felt very, and this guy's not wrong. It felt very conspiracy
Theory.
theorist.
Yeah.
It felt very.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And so, I think that's an important point to bring up, because some people that we're kind of looking to and leaning on for news are going to have their own agendas and their own conspiracy theories, right? And I know, like I said, here at the table, we're all cynical enough that we're like, wait a minute, that smells like fish.
But if I'm not mistaken, and I would have to go back to the actual show, I think that she prefaced the whole thing with, like, this may be out there, but follow me. This may come back later.
Sure.
I think she prefaced it with, I'm not defending. I saw the whole slant,
and
but I think she was cautionary to be like, this isn't gospel, but follow me through this and see if you think what I think.
Right. And I'm not trying to put Rachel Maddow specifically on trial, because I look at a lot of things that I read and believe in.
Sure.
And then I take a second and I think, well, wait a second, because there's an entire other segment of the population that believes that this is the cuckoo crazy.
Right.
And that theirs is right. At what point, right?
But I don't
that.
think she presents herself as news. I think she presents herself as a lecture on a, like, political class. Not a what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
that's
like
a
a
good-
politics class. I feel like you're getting a lecture on politics.
Yes.
Not so much news, unless she says, I have breaking news. I think she
I was gonna say,
announces when...
She does do that.
I feel like it's unfair to perhaps the less nuanced viewer to be both.
Oh, I think that's
I
true.
think that's 100%
and that's the problem
unfair.
with Fox is they think Sean Hannity is news.
Right. And I've been screaming at literally everyone who will listen, turn off the cable news immediately,
and
all of them.
But I think everyone knows that when you're the counterbalance to Sean Hannity is, or Bill O'Reilly, is her show, or Chris Matthews. Like, that's not news. That's mostly opinion shows.
Yep.
The news is much earlier in the day. After like 7 o'clock, you're in the wasteland of, like, the only people trying to do news and failing is CNN, because they're presenting a story with two sides arguing like there's equal sides
Like
to the
they're equal,
story.
right.
Where I think of, and that just to me, And I'm going to interrupt you one more time because Samantha B.
I think you're interrupting yourself at this point.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a valid.
That's a valid point. Samantha B.
Full circle there, Al. Full
I've
circle.
just decided to Weeblo.
Shut up.
Because my wine's not gone yet. Samantha, because I've been taping everything, but I just have not had the courage to watch it yet. I just can't face politics. Well, I'm back. Politics are back. So I'm catching up on Samantha B. So I made it through December, and she had Glenn Beck on at some point in December or January. And Glenn Beck is on there with what seems like a little bit of a white flag surrendering, saying, you're turning into me. You're screaming and yelling with conspiracy theories like I used to, and you sound crazy. Maybe we can meet in the middle. And my problem with this is that, yes, that does sound, and especially since you just presented it the same ways, which is like dinged in my head like a bell, because at the end of his segment, he was making comparisons, and because I've watched it, because somebody told me to like watch Glenn Beck's thing on George Soros, and you'll find out the real truth about the Democratic Party.
Right.
What
Soros is really just financing everything that ever happens.
Right, but what it was presented, his thing was about the, if you watch that, it's about the puppets, and it's all about the propaganda, and it's all about the Nazis, and making it seem like George Soros is this fascist thing coming in, which is kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're coming at it from the other side, our side, and you're looking at, you're putting a ban on Muslims, you're causing travel bans, you're keeping people out with green cards, that is what we're screaming about.
Right.
So for Glenn Beck to go on Samantha and being like, can't we just be friends? Do you have to be as crazy as I was? Is kind of rings really false.
Sure.
In the way that, oh, you're being like us. Well, your side was wrong. Obama didn't take your guns. He didn't put a ban on anybody. He wasn't trying to put
Shania Twain law.
Yeah, Sharia law. Like all the things you were screaming about that was next never happened, but we're in day 8 and it is happening.
It's actually happening, right?
So that's why I find that thing is I think these people are sending little missiles of like, remember how crazy you thought our side was? Well, now you're doing it too. And it's like, but your side is doing the things that our side wasn't doing. We didn't come for your guns. We wanted like.
Just a reminder, we got 10 minutes for whatever you're saying, and she's got another
that's
point.
What I'm saying. So that's my argument against that, is that I don't think anybody really that knows they're watching Rachel Maddow knows that when she goes off on those 20-minute conspiracy theories, she's just giving you a lecture of information.
Right.
To me, that's just a smart person talking.
Well,
compared to
but
Sean Hannity.
It's not a really big leap from...
Oh, no, it's not
a
at
smart
all.
person talking about things that might be happening to a dumb person talking about things that might be happening.
So
like it's not a really big leap. So you have to still be the custodian of your own information.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree that that's not news.
And with that in mind, we're what? 8 days in? How many days are we into this bullshit?
11
10
days.
11 days.
11, right.
11 days, and probably if you're as immersed as we are, you're probably starting to feel a little bit fatigued, right? A little bit overwhelmed. A little bit whatever. And I cannot say this to enough people, and I will just keep saying it probably for a couple of months. Eat a good breakfast. Clayton, what did you have for breakfast?
I actually had an oatmeal berry smoothie.
That sounds lovely.
It was lovely.
The recipe's on the counter.
Peanut butter, a banana, some frozen fruits. Yeah.
It's delightful. And I'm not kidding. Like, eat a good breakfast because this is a long-term thing.
Yeah.
This is not... We're not going to win this by... St. Patrick's Day.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like there's no winners here. There's only losers for kind of a long time, but we have to keep doing the right thing, right? So with that in mind, there has to be a certain amount of self-care happening, right? You have to
not self-love, self-care.
Different.
All right. I want to make sure.
Different.
Sure.
Not part of the Weeblo collection.
You need to eat a good breakfast, right?
Yes.
Which is kind of the not really it's all right. Pistachios are good. There's protein and fats and things, and pistachios are good.
Sure.
That's nice.
And
No,
things.
so-
You were part of the end things. It's like Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
beyond.
I see.
You're in the beyond.
Nice.
You're in the beyond.
Look at that. That's better.
You're in the upside.
I have your chart ready, by the way.
But with that in mind, I have here how to avoid being psychologically destroyed by your news feed. Ready?
No.
It's gonna be a quick and easy list. This particular writer.
Turn off the TV.
Yeah.
Done.
Right.
No. Number 1, recognize that there's a difference between being immersed and being informed.
Okay.
Okay. I've actually been immersed lately, to the point that I think I have a reasonably severe shoulder injury from it.
Wow.
My neck hurts because I
kind of not kidding because I'm really like tensed in and hunched
Oh.
over on my phone all the time, and I'm pretty sure I have a really significant shoulder injury happening because of it.
Well, fortunately, Obamacare can help you with that.
Maybe not.
Only
For a
until
few
it
more
lapses
minutes,
because
yeah.
I'm fucking
right,
on
exactly.
Obamacare.
For a few more minutes. Yeah. Hour and a half.
Aaron, I want you to be patient and let me get to my fucking point. Second of all, okay, recognize there's a difference between being immersed and informed, right? You want to be aware of what's happening, but you do not have to be plugged into Twitter and Facebook and all of the things 24/7. It's okay to turn off the CNN alerts because they're just going to keep happening and they're just going to keep being terrible. It's okay to check it in the morning and then go about your day.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you a terrible human. It doesn't make you uninformed. It doesn't make you uninvolved. It makes you a regular person who has other things in your life.
I have I leave it on during Tuesdays for the day of the show because I figure if something happens, it would be topical. But I've found that I watch a little in the morning and then I do music all day. Otherwise, I'll stop every 2 minutes in that living room.
Because the next thing on your list is stick to your usual routines as much as possible. We're creatures of habit, and we find comfort in those habits. Like, we really do. Whatever the thing is that you do in the morning, whether it's the hour on Facebook that I do while I'm still in bed. Don't ask me.
I can't do it laying there. There's no way I can.
Again,
good for
shoulder
you.
injury. Can't even
Hi,
tell
Bobby.
you.
Who's Bobby?
Hi,
Bobby.
So I just hold
Do
it
we
like
know Bobby?
this and I scroll through in the morning.
Yeah, this one literally lays next to me near my pillow. Terrible.
I don't know.
I don't either.
The only Bobby that comes to mind is
Bobby Gentry.
Why can't I think? No, not Bobby Gentry.
Fun Bobby?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only one I can think of.
Bobby Hess.
Bobby Hess. That's the only one I can think of.
Next
one way or another. Hi, Bob.
Yeah.
Hi, Bobby. Welcome.
Next on the list, look for opportunities to take action. But I will add like a little asterisk on that. But don't be overwhelmed because there are going to be more opportunities for action than you can actually do.
Right. I can't go to every march. So pick your march. Pick your battle.
Right.
Pick your thing. And I was saying to somebody earlier, because they had actually tagged me in something about the executive order about immigration and travel, right? Okay. And it was flattering because he was like, well, Kat Carlson's the encyclopedia of all things. Kat, is this true? Right? And so I had to respond with, first of all, I haven't read it yet, so I don't really know.
Cannot confirm or deny.
Yeah, give me just a minute.
Here's what, you know what I mean? Here's what I've read in other things.
Right.
But I haven't read the actual document, so I don't really know for sure.
Okay.
And the other thing that I said in kind of that thread was I feel like right now it is better to be well informed on one thing than to be even slightly misinformed on 10 things.
It's better to whole ass one thing
than
half-ass two things. Look at you! It's a full circle.
But that's so important to remember. Like know what you're talking about.
Right, and be okay saying I don't know.
Yeah, give me a minute.
It's super okay to say I don't know. I haven't read the thing. I haven't seen that. I don't know anything about that. Tell me more about that.
Sure.
Like those are all okay things because even if you are the pillar of knowledge in your community, as I seem to be,
wow,
I know.
There's
I
that.
know. Thanks.
Stroke it.
Right there.
Stroke
right
the
there.
ego.
I never toot my own horn. Gosh.
Yeah, never.
No, you don't. I don't remember. I don't recall the time.
I've never seen a horn.
No.
I've never
that
seen
we blow. You know what I mean?
I've never seen the horn.
And then next on the list, along with that, allow yourself to feel all the feelings. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
If you're scared, be scared. If you're angry, be angry.
Sure.
If you're happy, be happy. Like,
and
go for it.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Yeah. Not so much. And
Al's not happy.
never make a pretty woman your wife. I'm just
two more on the list, and then we can sign this bad boy off of that.
Excuse me.
Reach
There you go,
out.
John Jay.
Don't crumble in. There is nothing more sad and isolating and like crippling than sitting alone in a dark room with internet access.
Oh.
Right? There's nothing. I mean, unless you're watching porn, and that's a whole different thing.
There's no
Well,
good in
that's
sitting
what
alone in
the
your
internet
room.
is for, so I don't know what you're doing on yours.
But seriously, if you're just sitting there reading headline after headline
of gloom and doom.
Yeah.
Right.
If all you're doing is reading headline after headline and feeling more and more hopeless, find people, actual people in person, face to face,
and punch them in the face.
Well, maybe.
Well, I'm just going by 1983
and
rules of the
always
Midwest.
plan bail.
Oh,
different
good.
people
Good
connect
idea.
in different ways.
Have a wingman.
Right, have a wingman. But seriously,
I'm Goose. I got
you
it.
know, like it doesn't have to be super personal. You don't have to go pour all your feelings out. Just call somebody, go have a drink. If you don't want to talk, go see a movie. If you're hungry, go get a meal. Like, the human factor is gonna save us all.
Watch the documentary 13 on Netflix.
Do that, and then call Al.
Yeah.
And the last one, for people with children, or with children in your lives, talk to children. Like, don't shut them out either, right? Because they could be even more scared.
Well,
than
they
we
sen-
are.
they sense your fear.
Right.
Right.
Because they look to you for stability, and if you're not stable, they're like, "Oh dear God, it's all coming to an end. Everything is."
Well, then you realize like it's kind of like the flight attendants on the airplane. You know what I mean? If the flight attendant is scared,
Oh, they're running around like this.
Freak the fuck out.
And
right.
if the adults in your life are scared, guess what? Those kids are gonna sense that, and they're gonna be like, something ain't right.
Right.
Something's coming, something
But like,
bad,
listen,
something
listen to the little voice inside. If the little voice inside says this doesn't feel especially true, do more work, right? If the little voice inside says we're really fucking scared, maybe we should cry, then go ahead, cry. Whatever.
Well, and the just very quickly, the thing is, when Aaron is saying, you know, if we stop watching things happen, I think paying attention and like watching that stuff and you know keeping keeping abreast of what's going on is totally different. And the
But
difficult part,
controlling how often it's hitting you.
right. The difficult part of you know, if it even feels kind of off, the difficult part, the minute you said that, I'm like, every fucking part of this has felt wrong.
Sure.
I mean, so every
And that's what
single
makes it, that's what makes
that's
it
what
hard.
makes it hard.
Makes
But
it
you
very
have
hard.
you
Like,
have to
that can't be real.
You have to identify, like, I need a break. Like, I've
Right,
identified that within myself. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go to the driving range and hit golf balls tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I turn on all of my
with a hammer or actually like a
like
club?
actual golf.
Oh, okay, all right. You never
and
know.
every time just yell, bless you. Every time just yell or gesundheit or whatever you
Scream,
want.
grunt, let it out, whatever you
Yeah.
sneeze, whatever you got to do.
No, I actually
You
greatly
need to
enjoy
eat
golf, and I don't
You need
play.
to eat local organic honey. That's what you need to.
true
That's what you
fucking
need to
story.
do.
That's why I drink local beer.
Oh,
I feel like
Hey, I
maybe
think that
bees
gets
got
you
in
the
there.
same place.
it probably does.
Friends, take care of yourselves. We love you. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be a long time.
You're gonna make it after all. There
We
you
might
There it
just
is.
make it after
You never
all.
know about these things.
Who can turn the world
You can, Al. You can.
I hope so, because somebody's got to pay for this.
John
dentistry.
J, Aaron, Missy Al, Mama Di, everybody in the chat room. Thank you all for being there.
Joey from Trudeau.
Oh, Joe, yeah,
Hey,
that's
Bobby.
lovely.
All kinds of
My
good stuff.
gosh, so much
Good
going
people.
on. Guess what?
Brand was in there. We love you, Brand.
Oh, Brand,
We
yes,
missed
hello,
you.
welcome back.
As we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will
Blow you.
see you next Tuesday.
That's what we blow.
There we go.
Different.
Sorry, I got it wrong.
Different.
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America.